It's a Tuesday night and it's a football night, and we are here at Norwood for the Open Schools Cup Grand Final between Henley High School and Prince Alfred College. And I can tell you this is the 50th year of competition. And can you remember 12 months ago it was Henley High who kicked 6-10-46 to thump PAC 2-9-21. Hannigan kicked 3 goals and Noonan kicked 2. What sort of a game we had last year, and what sort of a game will we have tonight? There's always lots at stake when it's a school beats a school, and we'll just wait and see as to how this game unfolds. Peter Walsh joined by co-commentator John Nankerville. I'll invite John to call in just a sec, and of course Bernie Marnie, who's our expert, and we've got lots of talent for you, including very shortly a quick chinwag with the two respective coaches, Marty McKinnon from PAC and Ben Kane from Henley High School. Bernie Marnie, you love your talent, you love your youth, you love what goes on in the world of football as these youngsters work their way through and get to a possible stage of perhaps even pushing for selections in drafts for the clubs that they love in the AFL down the track. Good evening to you on a rather coolish night.
And good evening to you, Peter, and good evening to listeners and viewers. Yeah, I think this will be a really good game tonight, Pete. The rains looks like it'll stay away, and I think we've got probably 7 state under-18 representatives playing tonight. And there'd probably be 3 or 4 others here that the recruiters would be looking at. So it'll be, and they're all flown in from all over the country. All clubs will be here tonight. So I think we're in for a great contest, Pete.
Let's hope so. John Nankerville, who's been working with yours truly for many years. It's always a pleasure to have John on board as we see one of the teams out on centre court, I could say, really out in the middle of the Norwood ground. And we're going to have a chat with Ben Kane in a sec, also Marty McKinnon. But Henley High School and Prince Alfred College. Now, we can, just before we go to our interviews, have a look at the Henley High School lineup with Ben Kane, the man who is in charge. And we had a quick chat, myself and Scott Fisher had a quick chat to him to organise the interview. He's pretty chuffed about today, just pretty laid back, and says this means a lot to the school. Let's hope what we can see from the Henley High School is exactly what they could show us last year. What do you reckon, Bernie?
Well, look, they got some real good class in there with Mead and McNeil and Morris and co. Look, I think this will be a tight contest, Peter. I really do. They probably lean towards Henley. They've got a few more state players in there, but that is not always the case. It's whether you bring your game and your intent on the night. And I'm sure Prince Alfred, they're a very proud college that they'll want to get the chocolates tonight and be in really good form for their combine against St. Peter's on Saturday. So, yes, it's a twofold game for them, but this will be a hot contest.
You know plenty of the names too. I can tell you, Johnny Nankerville, there's a Mead there and there's a Burgoyne there, and when you see those names bounce up and grab you by the scruff of the neck, you get all excited.
You certainly do, Peter, and you mentioned Mead. We've in that Henley High lineup as well. You see Edwards too, son of Tyson Edwards, brother of Jackson, Luke Edwards, and McNeil, another estate player there, and some very good talent across the board for that Henley. So they've been a very strong footy school for quite some time now, blooded some great players over the years. Jared Petrenko is one that we know was a wonderful player with Henley in his youth. So Henley always strong, always round the mark.
Very true. PAC, Marty McKinnon, a stunning career, Marty, with football in South Australia and then charged around the countryside playing the game that he loves so much. And he's hoping for a bit of a turnaround. Marty in control of PAC, and Bernie Pickett. We've got a Pickett out here. When we see a Pickett out there, we can get very much enthused by it all.
Yeah, whenever there's a Pickett around, you know you're going to get really hard bumping and plenty of speed around the ball. Yeah, he's a typical Pickett. The Indigenous boys, they can really dance on the boundary line. They show their speed and their awareness around goals. They really are a great part of our game. They bring the people through the turnstiles.
Last year, Jack Lukosius, Isaac Rankin, both to the Gold Coast, and Tom Sparrow to Melbourne, the three who moved that extra step. And each time we see them play, we're thinking, all right, give them a bit more breathing space, give them a bit more of a chance to settle. I wonder who will be those that our scouts from the AFL who'd be looking and peeking at what is happening, what will go on this year? Who will be those you think that we might be able to hear the dulcet tones of their names being read out when the draft takes place at the end of this season?
Well, I think to start to getting drafted, I mean, to look at it on a percentage basis, I mean, firstly, it's a big help if you make the South Australian state side. So, Horsnell and Edwards and Schofield and McNeil, Mead and Co, Finlay from Prince Alfred. I mean, they've given themselves a good start. It's not a guarantee you're going to get drafted, but if you get to play and showcase all around the country in the national championships and having everyone look at you, not that they don't look at you because you don't play for South Australia, but then they get invited to the national combine where you have to be nominated by 5 clubs to go to the national combine, and all of those boys have been nominated, so they're in good stead. But there's only 90 or 92 go, so it's hard to get drafted.
Ben Kane's about to join us down below. Henley have won the competition 6 times, including their first 50 years ago in 1969. Most recent last year when they broke a 30-year drought for government schools. PAC have won it 5 times. Let's see if we can have a pop down there to Ben Kane, who's been kind enough to join us on the boundary line. Ben, thanks for popping over. We're nice and chuffed about this footy match because it's school v school. There's a lot of pride at stake. What's going through your mind right now, big fella?
Yeah, there is a lot of pride at stake, and thanks for having me on board, Peter, as well. Look, the boys are really excited. This is the 3rd year in a row we've come up against PAC. They've won 1, we've won 1, so yeah, it's a pretty level playing field, and we know they're a really strong side, but yeah, there's heaps of pride at stake. They go back to school tomorrow, and yeah, what will be, and they hopefully go back proud.
What's the last message that you gave to your troops? What did you have to say to them to get them ready to come out and go into battle?
Oh, there wasn't a lot said. We did our reviews during the week and build up towards this game, and had a meeting with making sure they're all clear on what roles they needed to play. And yeah, it was more just a little bit of a reflection of where we've come from and where we are now. And yeah, to go out, and for a lot of the guys are year 12, so it'll be the last time they pull on the jumper, and just be really grateful for the opportunity and make the most of it.
Motivation for the players is one thing. What's driving you for further success?
What's driving me? Look, probably just seeing that real enjoyment and satisfaction in the players. It's an amazing group to work with. They are, particularly this group that have come through since year 8, have been absolutely phenomenal. And I just get a lot of joy out of seeing them have success, and a lot of them going on to bigger and better things. A lot of them achieving a lot in their football, and if we've contributed something towards that through our football academy, then I think we can hold our heads really high. And just seeing their satisfaction and their enjoyment throughout the years has just been wonderful to watch, and that drives me.
Well spoken, Ben. All the best to you and the troops, and thanks for joining us before our coverage.
Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Ben Kane. Now, we did see Marty McKinnon, and then Marty McKinnon, very, very clever. He ducked down underneath where the coaches sit on the boundary. But I'm telling you that Scotty Fisher will drag him out. Don't you worry about that. He's coming out now to say hello and pretends that he forgot the assignment, but he hasn't. And he's popped on the cans now, and he'll join us in a couple of seconds. Marty McKinnon joining yours truly, Peter Walsh upstairs. And Martin, thank you so much for having a chat to us. I know only moments away from when we say let's bounce the ball and let's get stuck into it. What's the feeling like right now? You've seen the troops out on terra firma. How are you feeling?
Oh, we're really excited about the game. We've worked hard all year. This is the goal each and every year we play, and to have made it now and be on the ground, we just want it to start.
From your point of view, what can you do now? Oftentimes the coach will say, the guys are out there, there's nothing I can do. Is that how you feel?
I think there's always a role for a coach in terms of working, particularly with young players as they come on and off the ground, to give them some advice, move the team around slightly at times, but generally it is in the players' hands. But I suppose it's about instilling confidence in the team and belief at those quarter-time, half-time breaks and so on.
A lot of people say young kids grow up too quick. What about this group now? Are they doing just that, growing up far too quick for you?
We've actually got, well, they are, but they're also a very young group. I think we've got 6 18-year-olds and the rest are all 17. So the rest will all be back next year. So it's a really young and exciting group.
Yep.
We're excited to see what they can do this year. They've improved a lot over the course of the year. And it's a really bright future in front of them.
And a quick one, describe for us what you'll be like as a coach. How will you handle the next couple of hours?
I hope to be calm and collected, but that may not be the case.
Good on you, Martin. Thanks for joining us and all the best.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Good stuff. And well done to the two coaches too, Martin McKinnon from Prince Alfred College and Ben Kane from Henley High School, getting over and just sharing a few thoughts about what they can and what they can't do and how they will and how maybe they won't go. It's always good to have a chat to them, and they gave plenty then.
Yeah, my word. Yeah, they're both very excited about the night as the captains are in there going to toss the coin, and we'll find out which way we're going in a minute, Pete.
We've got a change too. William Staples is out of the Prince Alfred College team, replaced by Patrick Singleton. And I didn't think that the colours of the two teams were as close to being white as I must find out now. Who'll win? How do you possibly, Bernie, come on, how do you possibly work out who could win a game like this?
I don't know. I'd rather have 5 or 6 minutes to be able to tell you that, but you're asking me now.
Yep. Well, I am asking, and I'm expecting an answer.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I'm trying to give you one. No, look, I think that I'll stay with Henley. They seem like, not that I've seen a lot of Prince Alfred, but they seem like they've got a little bit more class in there, but that doesn't always be the case. I mean, you've got to bring the attitude with you, but I'll go with Henley.
Well, I'm going to throw to you in a sec, John, but I reckon we've just been given the biggest hint that I reckon I've heard before a football game in a long time, and that came from Martin McKinnon saying, gee, we've got a lot of young kids, and there'll be so many of them that'll be back for the game next year. That being the case, it's Henley for me. Johnny.
Yeah, hard to go past Henley. I mean, PAC, they're a strong side. They have to be to get here, obviously, and they got a lot of talent. But Henley, we mentioned 7 state squad members. 6 of them are in the Henley squad. That doesn't necessarily mean everything. As I said, PAC a strong side, but yeah, hard to look by Henley tonight. I'm interested too, Peter, and we were discussing it before we went to where some of those high numbers we got out there. We see number 74 there, Josh Morris, he's one of the state guys. 76, Riley Meldrum. 92, Noah Hannigan.
Sounds
92.
like you're reading out the Tats Lotto numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I reckon the numbers are okay.
Fantastic. It's like watching an Adelaide University C-grade league games.
Oh, look, I went to a private school in Victoria, and the pride that you had, I didn't play in the number 1 team, the pride that you had when you represented that particular school, that was St Patrick's College in Ballarat, you just felt so good about it. And as we look across to where Cooper's Hill is, you can just see these little heads bobbing over there. They're starting to gather, and they're little noggins that are bouncing around, and that's what goes. Yeah. It's all good stuff.
We got it done with one of them wearing red shorts.
Yeah, that would have been real handy. I was going to green. I'd written out a lot of my numbers in the green.
Whether we can get them to change that right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you've got any chance at all, Bernie. But still, we're just thrilled to be here. Open Schools Cup Grand Final. The red, green and white. Ben Kane and the assistant coach, Sam Venning, for the Henley High School, Prince Alfred College. They are coached proudly by the man that we spoke to only moments ago, Martin McKinnon. And I tell you what we have to do, fellas, between now and when the game finishes, we have to work out what the song for the two clubs is.
Oh, God.
Is that a good challenge?
We'll find someone.
We will. We'll find it. So we're getting into position. And, when we came here a couple of hours ago, there was nobody here, but there's a few here now.
No, it's good to see that crowd just slowly building up. It was when I arrived, I was the last to come, always fashionably late. Misty rain, cold, not lovely, but the conditions have settled, looking very nice.
I wouldn't say nice, but it's all right.
Nice and cold.
Nice and cold, thank you, Bernie.
Yeah, I know, it's good. It's a wonderful night for football, and it's the pride of the two schools, Prince Alfred College and Henley High School. And don't forget, it's 20-minute quarters. 20-minute quarters. And we go 4 of them. The big leap from the middle. The big ruckman got up there, and Declan Hortle tried to knock it away for Prince Alfred College. We'll call them Pack. I reckon if we go pack, we're halfway home, and that'll be the case. Now Henley, the short pass into the middle marked by Beckham, who will swing Henley into attack in the opening seconds of this particular game. It's a big one, and so is Johnny Nankerville.
Beckham goes towards the outer wing. Driving now towards 50, Henley. Close to the line, Hannigan there, number 92. We talked about him in the pre-game. He couldn't keep it in. Out of play, boundary throw in. Just outside the arc of 50 there for the Henley side. They've got the first centre break. So we see Beckham there slapping it down in the ruck for PAC. Cropanieri Pickett trying to come through there from the side. Dudley at ground level. Now Cropanieri Pickett diving in there. And there'll be a ball up just inside 50. Two ruckman wrestling strongly. Hannigan won it down. Charging away Dudley. Gets the kick towards the outer wing. Bouncing football. They will just keep it in. The PAC side. They scrubber it towards half forward. Callum was lurking but doing some nice stuff there. Was Wright Hagan for Henley. He kicks back towards half forward. Stalemate in shoes. Umpire's going to ball this one up. Half forward for Henley. No score on the board. 90 seconds gone.
Yeah, very much one-on-one around the stoppages. They got a circle on the outside, Prince Alfred, so they don't want to allow the Henley boys to break and get goals from their stoppages.
Well, I'm going to go pack now, because if I say pack all the time, I can be consistent. And so it's pack for Prince Albert College, and I'm going to also go with Pickett, because Cropanieri Pickett takes an hour and a half for me to say, so I'll just go with Pickett. I'm going to have to get used to calling him, because I'll tell you what, he's getting amongst it. Kick in towards centre half forward. The grab there is taken in defence by Hugo Kelly, who was the defending ruckman. Dropped back into defence. Short pass not on. He went the short pass across the goal face that he was defending. He seemed to kick it pretty well, but diving in and taking the mark in the forward pocket, Jack McCann, who runs around for the under-18s in the Eagles in the Sandford competition, and McCann to take a shot at goal. Comes in, drop punt kick on its way. Jack has kicked a behind. So the first score in the Open Schools Cup Grand Final goes to Henley High. They're a behind, and Pack are yet to score.
Yeah, he didn't get much on that. It wasn't much of a setup at all. He just popped underneath it.
Wasting no time. PAC bring the ball in towards halfback, driving down this wing position, but again we see a turnover. Very, very nice tackle there though by PAC from Cowham, keeping the ball there for Pack, holding it in tightly, and the ball up will ensure Beecham charging up in the ruck. No one there. Coming through late, the Henley player couldn't quite get on top of it. Hurried kick there by Freer, didn't go far. Freer gets another opportunity for Pack, hooking it back towards half forward. Bouncing football. Pickett comes through. Little handball out was good. Close to the line. PAC happy to see it over there through Bernardi.
Yeah, PAC are really strong on the tackles there. They might be a bit younger, but they wrap them up and they make sure they're making Henley cough the ball up.
Throw in. Peter Walsh and John Nankerville with Bernie Marnie here at Norwood, and enjoying our role here at Norwood as Williams was rushing about in the forward pocket, couldn't grab it. And there will be a last touch ball, is it there? And so we will have some relief for Pack, who haven't scored. Henley are behind, and the conditions aren't too bad at all. It was pretty ordinary early on, but it's pretty good now. There's a good strong tackle laid on McNeil at half forward for Henley. He climbs to his feet. Tackling from both teams has been strong. Umpiring, leading the way and doing well. Was the knockdown there by Hortle, who was the ruckman for Pack. Didn't go too far. Pickett runs clear, but doesn't do it well enough. The hand pass comes wide there from McCann. In towards centre half forward. Good kick, McCann. And for as good as the kick for McCann was, so too was the mark taken by Luke Young. A mile out from goal. Far too far out, I would think. He's gone for the kick, and the kick was a little astray. It's going to be cleared with a hand pass to Pickett, and Pickett will clear, and away go Pack.
As Pickett from defensive 50 comes out towards this wing position. Diving attempt at a mark, not completed there by Kitschke. Handball came out, struggled to gather it cleanly. McNeil flung it out. Chance though for Pack through Dudley, back towards half forward, knocked off hands. At the back there we see Hagan kicking towards the outer wing for Henley. Trying to pick it up close to the line was Cooper Luke, and in the end I think he might have toe poked that one over, and there'll be a boundary throw in or should I say a free kick to Henley on the outer wing, as they can drive it back towards 50 where the pack has formed. Knocked away there from the tall target for Young, and in the end goes out of play.
Yeah, what's quite unusual here, normally Indigenous boys at that size, they're normally playing in the forward line, but Pickett and Dudley, they're giving some real run out of there.
A turnover, a chance for a turnover here as socket off the ground by McNeil, fumbled the mark, goes off the ground, through for the one behind. So, well, early, Henley, 2 behinds, pack yet to score.
Nice night for footy, if you don't mind. Every night's a good night for footy. Here comes the Packmobile, slams the ball over towards the half-back line. Big leap Finlay, couldn't drag down the mark. Chasing hard is his teammate Sanders. Gets clearance, no he doesn't, he lost it. Umpire saying advantage paid. The kick there by Hannigan. In towards full forward, clears the pack, out of the pack, kick smothered. A good kick out of the pack towards goal, but smothered and forced towards where it might go through for a score. In defence, the hand pass was neat and tidy from Finlay, who was well tagged. That is over the line for a throw in, and Henley, Bernie, have had a few chances down there.
Yeah, they have, but the Prince Alfred, they're holding strong in their defence down there. They're either running it out through the 2 Indigenous boys, or they're trapping it through the talls.
So Pack strong in the ruck, but again, some run from defence, and they drive it out towards half-back. Ball clears everybody's head. But there's going to be a chance here for the Henley boys, firing out the handball. But again, that great tackling as we see diving in there. Garrels and Kelly and Pack holding it in. Is it the ball up? Hordle won it down. Little handball came out there from Hannigan, close to the line. Bustled over, but play continues at half back now for Pack, trying to work his way through. Dudley was tackled very strongly and illegally, and the umpire's pointing as though it is Dudley's free. He's got the footy and he'll take it, but it looked like a pretty fair tackle to me, Bernie.
Yeah, it was, and really quick hands from Luke Edwards there. He just sucked that off the ground and shot out a beautiful handball.
Dudley's kick touched off the hands of the Pack, and it's gone over the line for a boundary throw in. So a fair bit of activity. These two sides working hard. The glory of going to Assembly tomorrow, perhaps, and being advised by all and sundry that, guess what, we won last night. Were you there? We're there, all right. There's the quick kick out of the Pack there by Tunkin in towards half forward. And running through was his teammate Dudley, couldn't quite take it. So Henley on the burst now, back towards their half forward line. Good, strong defensive stuff down there by Hugo Kelly. Whistle sounds because there was a mark taken, but the advantage was paid and kicked towards half forward. And Henley have numbers, 2 or 3 of them. Short pass from half back to half forward, skids and slides over to where, unfortunately, the bar on the takeaway food shop is closed, and there'll be a boundary throw in. 2 behinds to nothing. And we've gone 11 and a half minutes of this first quarter. Quarter's only going 20 minutes. We haven't had much action on the scoreboard.
As Freya's kick was well smothered. Ball now at half forward. Henley, a chance if they can get the handball out. But again, we see PAC doing it pretty well in defence. Though it's McCann putting them back inside 50 Henley. To knock it out there. Coming through, Tunkin was almost knocked over. And the umpire's found a free kick.
Kicking in danger, I think.
Kicking in danger. Yeah. I think that's probably the good call. And it's coming back here to Hugo Kelly. He's got a couple of valuable touches early in this game. Right at the top of the defensive goal square. He brings it, swings it round towards half-back. Waiting at the bottom is Pickett, firing out the handball to some run here from Chandler. He pops the kick up towards half-forward. At the back, chance there for ball ace to just work out of it. He goes in again. Henley players all around him, but in the end the numbers beat him. Kick back down the wing. And a good mark taken there by number 30, Jackson Mead, who goes inside 50, off the fingertips of everybody. At the back there, firing out the handball was Young. Bit of aerial ping-pong might come off here for Henley, and it does with Jay Watson, the goal scorer. The first of the game. We've gone 10 minutes in this contest. Henley 1-8, Pack yet to score.
Yeah, it was really good work by Prince Alfred there. They sort of outworked Henley there by tapping the ball on a little bit Richmond-like. I mean, you can get those ugly, frustrating type goals. It was really good work, yeah.
You see there with that replay, it was good work, as you said, Bernie, just keeping your head and pushing forward.
Yeah, the dominating players are, Dudley. I mean, it's and Pickett. They're really causing some problems for their opponents in that back line there. The speed when they break, and they're finishing in the middle of the ground with it, so they're getting good run. Now they move Pickett they're rotating them into the middle of the ground now. So, and normally you would do that out of the forward line, but it's a good ploy.
Let's be serious. They have totally dominated the first 10 minutes, not on the scoreboard, and then all of a sudden, after that goal, they race the ball forward. There should have been a mark taken by Finlay in defence. He dropped it, skids to the ground, and there will be a bounce at centre half forward. They have dominated proceedings, but not on the scoreboard. Now, there's got to be a free kick against number 28 for Henley there for dragging the opponent off. That was Bishop. And so by doing that, the umpire was in the perfect position to adjudicate, and Finlay has the free kick for Pack. Towards centre wing, a pack of players fly. Who goes for it? On the ground and falling forward there is William Staples for Pack. He gets to his feet. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving, but the umpire calls for it and will bounce it. It's 1-2 Henley to Pack, yet to score. 8.5 minutes to go in this first quarter.
They haven't been inside forward 50 at all.
That's Pack, but Henley are inside their 50 as McCann bangs it forward. Again, though, Pack have the numbers. It'll roll out of bounds down there in front of Hugo Kelly. He'll get the free. You can see I think that's probably some of the Henley fans there in that forward pocket down at the northern end of the ground as PAC defensive held up well, but gee, as Walshy and Bernie have said, it's been a dominant performance by Henley. They just can't get the score on the board at the moment. As a little handball out was Horseful. Pickett went to ground for Pack. No one can quite pick it up. The diving player in there was the goal scorer, Watson. And that's where the ball will stay. About half forward right for Pack. They haven't yet gone inside 50.
Yeah, they got to win this ruck contest, John.
You see, getting up high, winning it down Hortle. Pedler comes in, grabs the footy. Umpire's whistle is gone. It's coming back, and it's going to be a free kick to Henley, so they won't get inside 50 this time, Pack, and it's going to be Henley to move things off half back as they send the ball to where it spent so much time up there in their half-forward line, and a good, strong mark by one of the state boys there, Josh Morris, wearing Guernsey 74. Look at that long, strong kick from Morris, saving mark on the last line defence, though, and Pack have the footy and should clear now from the back pocket through Chandler.
Only 7 minutes of play remaining in this first quarter of action, and just the 3 scoring shots to zip. And that really is not a true indication as to how this first quarter has been played, with Pack just having all sorts of issues to get the ball over their half-forward line. And as it looks like they might, it's been repelled. Back to half-forward, neat and tidy. Let's have a look. Where do you go? Kick in towards the forward pocket. Almost the mark taken for Henley, coming out strongly on the lead. I think that was, might have been Willie Schreiber out there. He runs back into it, can't gather. Snap at goal just across the face of the goal front. And it skids through from behind, and following through there, Zane Williams. And because of the dew on the grass, he put the handbrake on. That didn't work. He just skidded and the body went slap into the fence, but he's all right. 1-2-8 to nothing. Henley High leading with 6 minutes to go before quarter time.
Looking for another goal, Henley. They deserve it in terms of possession, but they're not going to get it because once again Pack's defence thrusting it out towards half-back as it's tackled strongly over the line there, ball ace, and there'll be a boundary throw in left half forward for Henley. Where the ball's sort of been camped, Bernie, this sort of left half forward, northern end of the ground, seeing a lot of play across this half forward line.
Yeah, it's a definite ploy, though, by Henley to keep the ball moving at all times. The willingness to tap it on is very much Richmond-like. Just keep it alive and let's just keep them moving. It makes the Prince Alfred defenders separate.
Perks, the last man up off that Pack. Coming away with it with a nice little handball was Lockie McNeil, and Henley a chance to go inside 50. It was Dudley trying to get a hand on it, couldn't do so. Henley player just works his opponent off the ball very nice. He just can't pick it up in these greasy conditions. Another chance there for Dudley, and PAC will clear it out towards half back where Pickett can run on. Can he pick it up in these slippery conditions on the outer wing? He fires out a handball. It's Watson, the goal scorer. He handed it off. Now a high kick there from Becken but only as far as the pack defender, and they go back through the middle now.
Well,
they're in trouble now as Murphy, perhaps a little too clever, turns it over. McNeil with the free, bangs it back towards 50, over everyone's head. Again, the ball just not sitting, but getting the handball out in the end was Hortle. A snap on goal. The goalkeeper on the goal line there for Pack saves the day, and they should clear our defence once again.
Saunders, the man who kicked clearly towards centre wing. Henley, I like their play. They've got to check the half-back line. They've got a player loose running down in defence.
Yeah, they've just got to lift the eyes a bit, when they get the ball. They've got to go a little bit higher into the forward line.
Well, they're not going to get out of trouble here because it's going to be Chamberlain who works the ball across towards centre half-back, and there will be there won't be a free kick. I thought for a moment there would be, but Ball Ace lost it. And a Henley kick will go floating out towards the centre wing position, where it will be taken out there by Joshua Byrne. He couldn't quite control the slippery bag of wind, and it slides over just in front of a limp Wimsock, and there will be a throw in. 1-2-8. That's the score that Henley have, and Pack yet to score 3.5 before quarter time.
Hortle won it down. Now Beck in there with a little handball out. Didn't find a target. Going to be a free here, though, for hanging on. Come back and go the way of Henley High. Taken there by Riley Meldrum, who goes short and picks out Wright Hagan. Still on the outer wing. Drives it long inside 50. 2-on-1 up. Was Crum nicely. Bouncing kick on goal, though, was wide away and out of play. And no score will result a free kick to Pack. So with just under 3 minutes to go, the opportunity's coming for Henley, but just not being able to make the most of them. As kick towards half-back, good one-on-one contest. Almost going to stay in there, but Callum and his direct opponent there in Chamberlain see it over for another throw-in. Right in front of where we're commentating from, right over the top of the left half forward flank here at the parade.
Throw in, who's going to grab it? Can Pack get a score before quarter time? I don't think so. They don't look like scoring. Why not? Get out of trouble if you can. Kick towards half forward for Henley. They bounce and jump, and good pushing and shoving out there in defence by Jack Saunders, enabling the ball to be shoved over the boundary line before Josh Morris from Henley can get access to the pill into the last 2 minutes of this term.
The reason why Henley are getting more of the ball, they get more numbers to each stoppage. Their midfielders are running harder.
Well, I'll tell you who's running hard for the ball now. Number 80, that's Dinning. Got a hand pass, the kicking towards full forward. Shy of the mark, but was never going to fall into the arms of anyone down there except the defender. And the mark is taken in defence down there by Finlay, who's kicked around towards half-back. It's just going to come straight back again on the left boot. Kicked there by Dinning into the pocket. It skids, and the result will be more work for the boundary umpires. Minute and a half to go before a quarter-time break. I'll tell you what, not a lot of scoring, but good solid scrap here. This, of course, is for what it all counts for. Open Schools Cup Grand Final.
1-2-8 to no score. Hortle won it down in the ruck, working it out towards 50. Henley trapping it, though, getting the handball out. Mead. Stalemate results, though, at half forward, and that's where it will stay. Just over a minute to go. As Pedler moves out of the way so his ruckman can get in, and now Henley, for their umpteenth inside 50 in this first quarter, barrels through everybody. Getting into position there. Getting rid of his opponent. Hannigan was good. Try something clever with the check side. It was a nice idea, but out of bounds on the full. And again, no score. 1-2-8 to Pack. No score. 35 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Well, I think the behind post is all right. That was a Lee Matthews Windy Hill one.
That's right. He really gave it a clock, didn't he?
Did he what? Almost quarter time. We'll pull this game to pieces at quarter time. That's a hoof and a half from Isaiah Dudley. Travelled a long way towards the half-back line and travelled into a lot of footballers all gathered around. And I see one out there wearing number 53, Kane Sherlock, who's got the bicycle helmet on. And he's running back now to get himself organised as we say hello to the quarter-time siren. Quarter-time. Open Schools Cup Grand Final to our right. I'd see you're rather worried, I would think, Marty McKinnon, who wanders out. He'll have a chat to his charges, and the Kane connection, Ben, will have a chat to his charges. It's 1-2-8, Henley High School. Prince Alfred College yet to score in the first quarter. All quarters going for 20 minutes. We'll have at half-time a decent chat about football in general and what it means to these school footballers now. What does it mean, Bernie, when you look at the scoreboard at the end of the first quarter and you see just the one goal scored, the two behinds, the 8 points, and yet, to be perfectly honest, I don't think Pack had the ball inside 50.
No, they didn't go inside. They didn't go inside 50. They didn't get it. They didn't get it outside of the square. In fact, I mean, just the pressure from the Henley boys. I mean, they're just running and hunting in numbers. But where Henley fell down, though, gentlemen and listeners and viewers, was that their forwards didn't play in front. They allowed the Prince Alfred boys, the backs, to get in front and control it. So they've got to change that up. They've got to have more separation, more people leading. And what Prince Alfred have to do, they've got to get more numbers in the middle of the ground. They've probably got to get their ruckman to get his hand on the ball a little bit better. And they've got to be able to shoot handballs and get some overlap and get it quickly into their forward line. But, they look to be struggling a little bit at the moment.
Okay, get ready. We just had a plethora of scoring shots in the first quarter, but we had a goal. Let's have a look at it. Johnny, you're across it. Talk to us about the goal of the first quarter.
Yeah, it was an interesting one because it looked like, as the kick, or the great tackle, it looked like maybe Pack would clear it. The clever little knockdown into Watson, who just kept charging towards the goals for Henley and kicking it. Got crunched for his troubles, but it was that clever little knock on there by Zane Williams which really helped the goal to Watson. It was front and centre, an odd sort of a crumb, but a successful one, and that was the one and only goal, despite the fact that, as we said, a lot of inside 50s to Henley.
Bernie, if it was a boxing bout and you've had the one round, who do you give the points to?
I clearly give it to Henley. The amount of ball that they had, it was just incredible, really, that they only ended up with 1-2. But in saying that, I mean, you've got to give the defence of Prince Alfred a big tick here, because, I mean, the more times you go in there, the more times the defenders are under pressure. And they were under pressure basically for 18 minutes of that quarter. So in being under pressure for 18 minutes and only have 8 points scored against you, 1 goal too, is a really good sign for them in some ways, because if they can do that for a quarter, they can do it for another quarter. Now they open up, come down this end this time, they open up with 2 or 3 quick goals. They got the pressure really back on Henley because they've withstood the pressure.
Yes, the scoreboard reflects on a total domination by Henley, but they've only kicked that 1 goal, and I don't know whether that will mean...
Well, they can hurt you.
Yeah, some changes from the two men who know their stuff. Marty McKinnon, who of course had significant career in the AFL, and he of course played for a bit of football for the Crows even, and then played in the Sandful. So his delivery and his exuberance in getting across the message hopefully will mean that PAC will bounce back and do something out of the ordinary. I did mention earlier on about Henley winning the comp 6 times. First 50 years ago in 1969. The most recent was last year when they broke a 30-year drought. Pack have won 5 times. Sacred Heart College, the most successful, 15 times, including 7 in a row between the years of 2001 and 2007. And last year, Henley High, 6-10-46, beat Prince Alfred College 2-9-21. The Colin Stonehart medal was won by Jack Lukosius from Henley. And as we mentioned, Lukosius, Rankin and Sparrow, the 3 who've moved on to bigger and better things, and I'm sure there'll be more to follow. Good crowd building up, a few students kicking the ball around and enjoying themselves with their school uniforms. They wear those with pride. You would have had that school uniform you wore with pride, Bernie?
I did, and I'm glad you read out that Sacred Heart won that many. I was a supporter there.
I thought you were going to say a player.
I was a player.
Yeah, of course you were. Oh, no, I'm not.
Average.
You're a player, all right. Don't you worry about that, Bernie. Leave me out of that one, big fella. And John,
what time of night you're talking
about? Talk to you about this, John. Just call the football, and you'll be concentrating hard as you always do. John Nangavore, Peter Walsh, and Bernie Marnie. It's 1-2 Henley High School leading over Prince Alfred College as we start quarter number 2.
8 points in it. Henley wasting some opportunities. How will they go? Already pushing forward is McNeil, getting out the little handball as they come off half back with a bouncing kick towards the wing. The pack player there pushed out of the contest in Jack Saunders. See McCann down there for Henley as well, and the ball will come back into play. Half forward for Pack as they knock it down through Hortle. High up and under kick will get them inside 50 as they've started this quarter well. Has Pickett a chance?
Got that.
And Pickett a goal. They start it brilliantly. Pack with a goal to Pickett within the first 50 seconds, and all of a sudden,
I've called it.
It's a 2-point ball game. And Bernie, you have called it indeed.
Oh, you get lucky. Yeah, they opened up beautifully out of the middle there. Much more intent and quicker ball movement. Yeah, that was really good. And as soon as it come off hands in the front of that, but Pickett was there. He arrived right on time. He was front and square to the pack, and as soon as it lobbed, it was a beautiful sideways kick. A really indigenous goal, that one. It was beautiful to watch.
Well, tell me then, where is he playing?
He's changing in the back line as a midfielder.
You don't see that very often. He did a lot of work in defence in the first quarter. Now we've just seen him on replay snapping that very impressive goal. So he's the sort of player that is starting to buzz.
Oh, he's
off. He's off again. Good luck to him. You won't catch him. He knocks the ball forward, does it well towards Pedlar. Pedlar's kick not too far. And all of a sudden, Henley, they're in front by 2 points after they dominated quarter number 1. Doesn't matter. They'll swing into attack off the boot there of Horsnells in towards the half-forward line. Hacked further afield, a good stump off the boot there. Neil does the chasing. It rolls into centre half forward. Now there's a little bit of how do you do down there. Involved in the fracas was Josh Morris and also Isaiah Dudley. And the latter gets the free kick and kicks it very well and starts to run now. And they're starting to find some movement in the legs now. With Pack, the kick by Finlay in towards the half forward line. Is this the same side? Have they swapped jumpers? Kick now by Finlay in towards the forward pocket. It rolls towards the boundary line and will go over for a throw in. 2.5 minutes of action in this second term, thank you. Pickett gets a goal and the difference is just 2 points.
Yeah, I think Marty's given them given them a bit of a cook at quarter time. They just got much more intent around the ball now.
This northern end where the footy seems to like to be as McNeil tackled to ground in his attempt to clear the ball. And Pack will come up with it again and a chance to go inside 50.
Well, he's missed the forward. He was dreaming.
Well, it was waving intently, but they can go long now. Front and centre, the Crummers knocked down towards the line. Disciplined stuff from Will Schreiber. Out of play, throw in, right forward pocket for Pack. But yeah, it's this northern end, absolutely dominant Henley were in the first quarter, kicking. They could only manage 1-2-8. Pack within 60 seconds. Got the first goal of the second term. As close to the boundary. Players from both sides desperate to keep it in. It's right on the edge of things. Great to see that desperation. Handball knocked down. Players pile in now. No quarter given, none asked. The ball ace and they're pulling up his teammate, patting him on the back. And the ruckman get ready. Hannigan for Henley. Hortle for Pack from the restart. Kick out of there, a quick one. Didn't find a target, but they're away through Dinning now. Up towards half forward, bouncing football. Does it sit here for Morris? Head over the footy, diving in, pressured by a couple of players. One was Finlay, and he got in his back. And the umpire has seen it exactly like that. And Morris, sporting that nifty mullet, will go back from about 35 out straight in front.
Yeah, it was well done by Morris, really. I mean, once he lost his feet, well, he knew that he had to just fight back for the ball, and the opponent had to touch him on the back. He had to fight as well, but he had to get over the top of him, so he knew he was going to get one in the back. He got footy IQ there.
A couple of the SA State boys there involved in that. The defender, Finlay, and Morris into the crowd behind the goals as Finlay's kick is away to the left. Point results, 1-9. plays one straight 6, 139 or one straight 6. 3 points the lead, Henley over Prince Alfred College. 5 gone second term.
Yeah, good to hear that noise over there with all those boarders who are probably going to wag school tomorrow, but they're having a good time there tonight. And they're making the noise. This is really good indeed. Really good. Now we've got a scramble on the half-forward line. No one can get near it. And there's a free kick. Is there another push in the back? There is. And the infringer on that occasion getting too close to his opponent was McCann. Ball goes to centre wing. Cowan rushes in for Pack. Umpire gets across and says thank you. And I do notice too, fellas, that if you're untidy with the tackle and you throw the body and there's the head into the ground, that's going to cop you. And that's been very...
Pickett on the 1-2 now. He's on fire, this
on
kid.
the way, but on that occasion, he just didn't get a bit of clearance. He was on the run, but he was dragged down. So the ball tossed in the air from that fresh start. McCann tried to kick it away for Henley, couldn't do so. And there was another scramble. And now that goal that was missed a few minutes ago, oh, well, you don't miss those. There's a head ducking escapade from Murphy, who eventually clears for the pack side. Hit a half forward, fine bar taken there by Pedlar. Pedlar is within range. He's within range all right. He sucks it in. Pedlar running the same way as the ball. He just leapt there with no fear at all. And he spits into his hands, gets himself organised.
This was the boy we were watching in the warm-up.
I'll tell you what, that was a good mark.
He kicked it easy from here. I'll back him in for this one.
Settle, Bernie, just settle. Here comes Pedlar. Number 45. Drop punt kick on its goal. It's going to go pretty close. It's going to go very close. I reckon it's gone close enough to be given a goal. What a kick from the Pedlar. He has laid the boot into that one, and it's just gone over the top of that pack. And that accuracy, we have a new leader in the ball game. 2 goals to Pack in this turn. They're 2 straight 12. Henley higher 1-3-9. 13 to go in this second quarter. The game is starting to hot up.
And that goal again, the player having most influence on the ground really is Pickett. I mean, he was over here on the wing on a 1-on-3 and won it. And then it spilt. His immediate opponent got it. Then he won it back on a 1-on-2 with a beautiful up handball on the run.
His influence has been a strong one for Pack, that's for sure, Pickett. And they take that lead for the first time tonight. A wonderful long-range goal from Pedlar. You see him in there again, pushing and shoving. He's in the ruck. Hannigan, good for Henley. But it's Pack again, breaking away. Murphy's handball, stolen, away and running go Henley through Williams. Long kick towards 50. Can Dinnan trap it down there? He can close to the line, but he runs out of room for Henley. And we'll see a throw in that left forward pocket. Pack's defence still performing pretty solidly. They were great in that first term. Haven't had to do as much in the first 8 minutes of this quarter, but they held on there and did it quite nicely. It's from the restart. Hannigan slaps it down for Henley. This one's going nowhere. And we see another ball up as Murphy at the bottom of the pack there, helped up by his Pack teammate. And by twirls at Skyward. Ball comes out again. Chance for Dudley to go across the face. It was a cardinal sin once upon a time. It's going to come off on this occasion. And Pack will look to clear from that back pocket at the southern end. Out towards half back. Getting up off hands. Pack get the kick now towards this wing position. Bouncing football. If it sits for ball, Lacey might be away. The big man goes off the ground. Runs inside 50. Looks to provide the shepherd for Cowham to come through. Cowham's there. Can he pick it up? A couple to beat. He's ridden into the ground. Pushes the call. And Cowham will get the free for Pack. His opponent there, Cooper Horsfall, not happy about things. A big push and shove. And it continues on between players from both sides.
Got a penalty as well, John.
And not surprisingly, as Walshy says, a 25-metre penalty and probably a gifted goal here to Pack. I think it's fair to say to Cowham as he bangs it through for his first and Pack's third, all coming in this second quarter, almost halfway through it. And, well, Prince Alfred College They are 3 straight 18, Henley 139. We stop and catch our breath, Bertie, because this has been a pretty intense 10 minutes by the boys from Prince Alfred.
Yeah, my word it is. And they've lifted their game in the middle of the ground. In the first quarter, in the ball ups, they were letting the ball hit the ground. Now their midfielders are taking it off the ruckman's hands. And when you take it off the ruckman's hands, you're bursting through people that are standing flat-footed. It takes away that 50-50 ball if you can get it clearly off the ruckman's hands.
Interesting penalty being given, interesting free kick being given, but we have the advantage of having a look at the slow-mo, and unfortunately we saw a little bit of indiscriminate work in defence for Henley, and it cost that meterage, and it cost in effect a goal, and away we go with Pack again, the push and shove. Chandler moves brilliantly, and the mark is taken by Pickett in the forward pocket. We want to count. We want a head count. How many Pickets are out there, if you don't mind? We've seen picket fences here. Now we're seeing picket players here. They're everywhere.
Yeah, he's been really instrumental. And in that last bit of play, he made sure that he pushed and shoved every Henley player. He's got real intent, this kid.
Pickett, right forward pocket, 40 out. Drop punt kick on its way is offline. The man in the green says that is a behind. Electrifying stuff, and Pack are really playing good, strong football, and there's still 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes of action in this term, and they lead on the scoreboard 3-1-19 to Henley 1-3-9.
Equal scoring shots, just the other way around. That tells a story in this first half. If you're just joining us, Henley dominant in the first quarter, kicking to this northern end that Pack are kicking to in this second term. They didn't put the score on the board, only managed 1-2-8, and now perhaps they're being penalised a bit. Very strong second term as the big long kick went over everybody's head on that outer wing. Immediately appealing and getting the free too. They will there, the Henley side. It was Daugherty at the bottom of the pack who's been penalised.
He's lucky he didn't get 25. He really held him up because they've all backed.
Well, he is now, Bernie.
Yeah.
Right on cue. It's going to be 25 to, looks like Young there for Henley. And no one stood the mark, so Young is just going to blast away. And unfortunately for him, misses the lot. And a free kick will result to Dudley. And you see the Pack boys, they're loving that. Look at them. I don't think there's someone out there wearing a Christmas hat. Tad early, but they're having a wonderful time as their team has surprised everyone in the second term. Dudley goes short. Not good at all. Turnover, but there's going to be a free as McNeil over the shoulder, going to come back. Dudley's being told about it by a couple of the Henley boys, and the ball is going to come back. So they will get a shot on goal.
Yeah, I think
the Henley side.
I think the umpire owed him one there. I mean, it took a long time to pay that 25. All the Prince Alfred defenders had time to get down there. It was just a pretty slow call.
So Henley come up with it. 7 minutes to go in the second term. They need this goal, to say the least. And it is just going to clear the outstretched hands on the line. So Henley get the goal. They're pretty pleased about it, as you would be. It's big number 23, Luke Edwards, the son of former Crows star Tyson, brother of Jackson. And that was a great goal as Henley just settle things down. They go to 2-3-15, Pack 3-1-19.
Yeah, good goal there by Edwards. And as I said, I mean, I think they were owed that one. The umpire was just really slow on giving away that 25-metre penalty. But they're back in the contest. We've got a really tight go here.
This game could well and truly be sorted out with discipline. Both sides have been a little bit off skew and have paid the penalty. Settle down would be the words from Ben Kane and Marty McKinnon. In such a tight game, you can't give away those penalties, particularly close to goal. Let's see who can win the tap away. Meldrum tries to for Henley. Got it across to Edwards, the goal scorer. He for Henley got it to Williams. Williams towards the half-forward line.
Oh, take.
Nicely taken in defence, though, by Saunders, who had it, lost it. There's a crunch, and the umpire is across in a hurry. And will call for the ball, and we'll put it to Terra Firma. 6 minutes to go in the term. It's 2-3-15 Henley, Packer 3-1-19.
Meldrum won it down, but came back straight away to Henley. Edwards laid off to McCann. Searching kick to half forward was a nice one. And Morris gets up, takes the mark, puts Henley inside 50. Pack have the defenders if they can just gather the footy. They couldn't. Handball came out. High, up and under kick from Williams. Back to the goal line. This hasn't been touched just on the last moment. It's rushed through there for a behind by Kelly. Rush behind to Henley. They still trail, though, by 3 points.
What about that for a kick-in? If you don't mind, it went about 40 metres. Garrels took it at centre wing. Outstanding disposal. The Packs, can they bring it forward? No, not quite, because it's going to be relieved there with McNeil at half-back for Henley. In towards half-forward. Couldn't quite take the grab. They're watching, and there's a mark being paid in defence, and the mark will go to Packs number 21, Jackson Daugherty, who stands his ground. He's one of a few that have got the long sleeves on, and he drills the ball with the left boot around towards centre wing, looking for some assistance out there. The ball looked like it was going to spit out towards Larson, who couldn't take it. Teammate runs past quickly. That was Kitschke, who kicks in towards half forward. It bounces. The cheering is for the defensive skills there of Luke Edwards. Edwards kicks across his body towards half-back. And here comes Henley. They've got it at centre wing. Run, can you run? Chamberlain can. Chamberlain's kick in towards centre half forward. Coming through like a truck is Daugherty in towards half forward. And the mark is not quite. No, the umpire didn't give the grab. Almost a spectacular grab from Pedlar. He goes back in for it again. Does brilliantly. Pickett's looming. Will the ball go in his direction? Not quite. The man with the bicycle helmet is being held. And there'll be a sigh of relief for Henley, because they look like they could lose possession and lose a goal, but the free kick went to Sherlock in the back pocket.
So Sherlock went back to the top of the goal square, found Horsful. He comes out a little wider, and Henley to clear with a big punt kick towards this members wing, perhaps a little too much on it, over the head of Morris and out of bounds on the full. And the free will go here to the man who's done most of the rucking tonight for Pack, Declan Hortle. And jumper number 33.
I don't know how old Pedlar is, but boy, if he's not in the stateside next year, I'll go. He's got beautiful balance.
As Murphy got a good handball inside 50, trying to run it through there was the player in Garrels. He was run down, and there'll be a ball up 40 out from the Pack goal. One down in the ruck there, but it's going to be Williams to clear for Henley. Pops it up. And a little kick towards halfback. Good idea. Just didn't quite have the height or the carry, and out of play for a throw-in. Right half forward it will be for Pack. Left half back for Henley. 2.5 to go in this second term. Pack by 3 points.
Throw in. Declan Hortle wearing 3-3. Couldn't get near that contest. Ball comes out of the Pack. Hand pass for Henley goes towards Hornsville, who lost it. Good work, Dudley. You got a hand pass forward. Kick by Pack in towards the forward pocket. And if you're a defender and you've got a chance to take the mark, you do so, particularly if there's pressure coming from left, right and centre. Williams receives the short pass. And I'm just wondering if the coaches get the message out to say, come on, fellas, only 2 minutes to go. Kick by Williams, bounces around towards centre wing, clears the Pack and goes over the line. There'll be a free kick to Pack, who'll come back into attack. 2 minutes gone. Heading towards half-time. Lots of entertainment during the half-time break. 2-4 to 3-1. Pack by 4 points.
Kelly's kick to 50, getting up high. Unable to bring it down, and jumper 57 there was Will Schreiber in defence for Henley. As it's Pedlar, one of Pack's goal scorers. He throws it back to the umpire, who twirls it skyward into the night sky. One down in the ruck. Quick kick from Murphy, sending it back into 50. But again, Henley with the numbers in defence. And they'll settle things down there in that left back pocket in front of their cheering squad. It's Schreiber again. I like the look of him, taking a couple of good grabs, saving grabs in defence. Kicks out towards half back, off hands. Little give came out, heavy bodies all round. Picked a free kick out of that. It could have gone either way. There were some big, heavy bodies thrown around, but in the end, Henley are going to take it through Mead, who chips short to the outer wing. Just 60 seconds to go in the contest. And Henley would probably have an idea of that, but they're not exactly racing it, should I say. They're at half back. They go down towards that outer wing. Off hands, umpire's whistle has gone. Going to be a free kick coming back here, going the way of Pack. And they'll take it there on that outer wing and just relieve the pressure. There's a long kick from Porter towards 50, and again Pack player getting up, taking a strong mark as they work it to half forward now inside 50, but Henley have the numbers in defence, and the saving grab on that occasion came through the agency of Lachlan McNeil.
McNeil, only seconds to go before the hooter, and then a chin wag from the Three Wise Monkeys up in where we are, our commentary spot. This has been some scrap, all right. Tight game. Who would have thought, and who's going to think, as the siren now sounds to end half-time, and you can think to yourself, this is just the entree. The main course awaits. 3-1-19 to 2-4-16. The margin is just 3 points at half-time. Pack have Pickett, Pedler and Cowan in the goal-scoring columns. Henley have Watson and Edwards in their goal-scoring columns. Both teams will head to their respective coaches and have a decent chat about their thoughts on the first 2 quarters of this match. Of course, you have to be aware of the fact this is the Open Schools Cup Grand Final at the Norwood Oval between Henley High School and Prince Alfred College. The side that won this game last year, the side that was far too superior, was Henley High, who won 6-10-46 to Prince Alfred College 2-9-21. That means a big fat duck egg tonight. They're playing different players, and they're really now giving us something to savour about. We're going to hold the program here at the Norwood venue and talk about lots of football action that's taking place on the ground here at Norwood and around the world of football. I'll get you, Bernie, just to have a ponder as we see the Henley side just jog off. They were preceded off the ground by their opposition, the Prince Alfred College. And I must share one thing for you, Bernie, that when we were looking for Ben Kane before the game, we had to go out into, it was sort of like little mini units out there in the back. I think with all of the stuff that's happening at Norwood, you haven't got your own dressing room. You go out into these little dressing areas, and it's quite bizarre. The whole lot is being refurbished for lots of good reasons for the state of football over here at Norwood. It's half-time. Prince Alfred College 3-1-19, Henley High School 2-4-16.
Yeah, no, that was a really good quarter by Prince Alfred. As I said at the quarter-time break, that if they could come out and score the first 2 and get some more intent into the game, they'd be right back in this game. And they're controlling some of the bigger type players. We haven't seen much of Mead. The young lad that's come on as come back into the team as an emergency. Singleton's gone to him as a heavy tag. So they've quietened down some of the South Australian stateside boys, and just their work rate totally is a little bit higher than what the Henley boys has been in that quarter. And they got their ball into the forward line much quicker, with higher entries. Got Pedler and Co getting a little bit of aerial space organised. So all in all, a really good quarter of football, and then of course you've got Pickett at one end and Dudley at the other, which are controlling the game.
Half time, 3-1-19 to 2-4-16. Now let's have a look at what we saw in terms of action in that second quarter. We saw plenty of good things, and we're going to see that was Henley. That was Head, or Mead, I should say, who got himself into a position of where it might have gone through for a goal, and eventually we did see off the ground a hack early in the first quarter, and that was the first quarter of the match, wasn't it? Was that your mate down there, Cooper Horsnell?
It was Watson, and it seems so long ago, doesn't it? Because, I mean, it's been such a game of 2 halves. This has been a half of 2 halves, hasn't it? But, yeah, the goal to Watson, and that was the only goal they got, the Henley boys, and in the end, it has hurt them. But that was the sole goal of the first term.
And it didn't take long in the second term for us to realise that Pack, who'd been disappointing, were going to hit back in a hurry, and they did just that because Pickett was about, and Pickett kicked that early goal. And such an effusive player, he was surrounded by teammates, and when he kicked that goal, you all of a sudden realised, only 2 minutes into the second term, that they were going to hunt hard, and they did just that. And at one stage, I think, Bernie, they gave the impression that when they got to the front, they might have been able to kick 3 or 4 goals and get right away, but that didn't happen.
No, it's a really tough contest. It's the last line of defence on both sides, and that's Pedler just leading up there now. As I spoke about him, he's got beautiful balance. But the last line of defence of both sides have been really desperate, and that's what's holding this scoreline as it is, the 2-4 to 3-1. But through the middle of the ground, it's reasonably even until Pickett breaks. And then it's not even because of the leg speed, of course.
There was a bit of leg speed here, if you don't mind.
There wouldn't be a recruiter in this oval tonight that wouldn't be on his second biro about Pickett. He has been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, and there was some frustrations down there. There was a free kick paid to Lewis Cowham. He wasn't very happy, and he was even more disappointed because what happened was the meterage went in his direction and there was a goal scored. And when he kicked that goal, again, from all of the work that Henley had done, it was the prowess and the skill that we saw belong to Pack to be able to get it back and make it neat and tidy. Now, there's nothing to do with the breeze out there. We're just seeing people kicking on the ground during the half-time break. So, despite the conditions being ordinary earlier on, they certainly aren't too bad whatsoever, as Luke Edwards was able to kick that goal just before half-time. And as the scoreboard shines quite brightly over the top of the Coopers Stadium sign, you want a close game when you come to see a football final of any description. And I have no idea which way this will go now. No idea.
No, it could go either way. It's been a tie. As I said, it's been a half of very two distinctly different quarters. A lot of the play at this northern end, but that goal to Edwards there, we saw, guys, that was the real steadier Henley needed. The heads would have been right down at half time if he hadn't have kicked that goal, and just bring it back to under 6 points, Bernie, and that little bit of class from him. Just keeping Henley, not so much keeping them in the contest because they're very much in it, but just ending the second quarter on a brightish note after what was a pretty dismal second term for the boys from Henley Beach.
Yeah. I think Henley have to pay PAC a little bit more respect. I mean, they probably knew that there was a lot of year 11s that will go on and play again next year for Prince Alfred in this side, but. Yeah, they might have come to this game thinking they were going to get it a little easy, and and sometimes you can't find that. If you don't bring it with you, you can't find it at quarter time, you can't find it at half time because you weren't mentally prepared. And it looks to me like they weren't totally mentally prepared. But Prince Alfred, on the other hand, they have come here with a real big show of winning this.
Do you believe that we've seen any Jack Lukosius or Isaac Rankin or Tommy Sparrow?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. I think Pickett's shown that he is an absolute draft. I mean, if I was still working in recruiting, I'd just write draft down and be done with it. I mean, it's just a matter of where you're going to get him and how you're going to get him, because he's a multiple player. A lot of Indigenous boys can't play defence. They all like to run one way, but he's a kid that can change in the back line, go through the midfield. He's got speed, he can get it off the ground, he can get it in the air, he's got aggression on the tackle. And similarly, Dudley down the other end. I mean, he's just another beautiful Indigenous boy that can just run it out of the back line. And I think later in this game they might even bring Dudley into the forward as well. I mean, when we're talking about Edwards' son, I mean, he's just got beautiful hands. I mean, his handball is so quick that some of the kids actually miss that handball when he shoots it. I was really impressed with Pedler from Prince Alfred. I'm not sure whether he's old enough. He's probably one of the bottom age kids, but as I said in the call, I mean, he let out for this mark and hit the ground on his left foot, bounced on his right. Just his beautiful balance just really impressed me. So, there's some really good players here, Pete.
Cozzy, Cronieri, Pickett. Now, when you read that out, you think to yourself,
3 votes.
This kid can play. And again, I say this, and I'm very, very careful with my selection of words. When I come to this venue and I see Wilson play, and when I see Wilson get near the ball, and he's able to take it cleanly, and then he looks up and he can see where he is and where the goal is, and he just changes into overdrive and runs off like a cut cat.
Yeah.
When you see that enthuses you,
Yep.
And when you see your Charlie Camerons and when you see your Indigenous players who are spread far and wide, aren't we just so lucky that they play the sport so well?
Now, the other one in the Prince Alfred side too is Harley Chandler, the number 7 been playing on the outside wing. He showed bursts of really good leg speed. Leg speed is the one thing you've got to have play AFL football. You can have all the other attributes, but if you haven't got leg speed, you're not playing.
Well, there's no leg speed up here at all because all of our legs are totally frozen. So that was ridiculous of you to even mention that.
Yeah. We're up for the draft, all right.
No,
We're in the draft. That's the only draft.
Look, it's a good spot, actually. I must say that
it's beautiful viewing up here.
Yeah, it is. And when we arrived here, not too many people, and there was some showery rain, and the Norwood under-18s were going through their paces, and half of them took their tops off and ran around. You saw this.
Yeah,
so I'm not making this up.
They played the skins in the rain.
I couldn't believe that. So there were ambulances waiting outside to take them off, and 3 of them can't play next week because they've got pneumonia.
They're sponsored by Codral.
Oh, I couldn't believe that. But still, what I can believe is these 2 sides are out on terra firma. All right, you're the man with the knowledge. You're the man who looks for and finds the abilities of these youngsters. Well, forget the abilities of the youngsters. What are the coaches saying? Where would the coaches' mindsets be at half time? Yeah,
look, I think Marty McKinnon would be pretty happy with this, boys. I mean, he would just be wanting more of the same. But similarly with Henley, he'd want them to settle down a bit and get the ball into some of their better players' hands. A little bit more work rate from them, sort of lower the eyes when they go into the forward line. Don't rush it as much. I think they... When you're supposedly to be the better team and a younger team takes you on, you can get frustrated and you start moving the ball too quickly and erratically. They've got to sort of dial it down a little bit and start using the skill that they're supposed to have.
Marty McKinnon, born on the 5th of July 1975 in Adelaide. Played with Adelaide, Geelong and the Brisbane Lions. 26th in the 1992 AFL draft. He played 25 games for Adelaide, 54 for Geelong and 7 for the Brisbane Lions. In 92 for the Crows, their first ever national draft pick. The youngest on the list at that time. How good's that?
Yeah, great thing.
It is.
Great career.
Yeah, and look, to travel around the country and to enjoy himself. And then he finished up playing with Central Districts and played in a premiership team with Central District. What sort of a record? Absolutely outstanding. Ben Kane, he played with We're a Happy Team at... It's cold, so I have to sing. He played between 2003 and 2006 for Hawthorn, 23 games and the 1 goal. He's from the Eastern Rangers, the TAC Cup team, number 13 in the 2002 rookie draft. And this is where our football lies ahead of us. Level 2 as an AFL coach, and then in 2017, AFL Secondary School Ambassador of the Year. 2017, South Adelaide Zone Senior Coach of the Year. A former Sandford Glenelg Sturt player. 2018, an under-18 South Australian state team assistant coach. You don't walk up and knock on the door and say, I'd like to coach this football team. You've got to carry in a truckload of credentials, and that's what they do in this day and age.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very important.
Interesting little stat on Ben Kane, guys. 171 games he played across the 2 clubs, Glenelg and Sturt. 171 consecutive games.
That's pretty good.
Didn't miss a game until he was injured ahead of, I think it was a final against South Adelaide. That was the first game he missed. Sturt lost. They were knocked out. He retired. That was one injury across all those years, 171 straight games.
Well, I'd just like to apologise for what I'm going to say in advance, John.
Yes.
Ben Kane certainly proved he was able.
That's good. We'll note that down.
Yeah.
We'll note that down.
Thank God they're going to bounce the ball soon.
Sorry about that. He's a good bloke, though, isn't he?
Yes,
no, really, just to have a chat and just this passion that they have for their sport at their school.
Yeah, they got 2 great schools going head-to-head here. We're in for a good contest now.
Yep. I don't know which way. Now, you said before the game you'd give us a selection and you mumbled something and I didn't hear it.
No, I did mumble Henley.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, if you'd said to me...
But I'm really impressed with the other boys now. They've come to play.
If you'd said to me 15 minutes into the first quarter, I would have said, Henley by 5 or 6 goals. supposed to change my mind very quickly. What about you, Big J?
Yeah, I'm still sticking with Henley. I think Pack have been really good. I so admire the fight they showed in that second quarter to get themselves back into the contest. But I get the feeling Henley's experience, maybe a little more skilled, maybe a little smoother, might carry the day in the second half.
Yep. I'm glad we're going with Pack too, and that's certainly in no way we are not showing the necessary credit or expertise to the team, Prince Alfred College, but I think it's a lot easier if you're trying to call players who are zooming by and doing that and that and that to call them Packs.
Yeah. Well, I still go with Princes. I'm just used to saying Princes. We're playing football against them at school.
We've got Peter Walsh, John Nankivell and the Prince here.
That's right. That's right.
Good.
Yeah.
Now,
the Prince Alfred people out there will go, thank God Bernie's got it right.
And the strut from the coach, who was with us before the start of the game. We were thrilled to have some moments of thought from Martin McKinnon, and I wonder what the boss is thinking about right now. These charges are 3 points up, and deservedly so too. This is a tight game. Tight game. The crowd, I won't say they're building now, but they're spreading out more now. And they're enjoying themselves. A bit of slamming on the fences when it gets near where they are. You can start this term, John, because I'm too cold. Now the score is 3-1-19 Prince Alfred College. Henley High School 2-4-16. The spoils mean absolutely everything for the school. And if you play for the opposition, you just don't want to go to school tomorrow.
Not far away from a start in the second half here at the parade. The 2019 High School's Knockout Grand Final. And we're underway. Umpire twirling it skyward. Hortle high in the ruck. Knocking it on there. Hannigan for Henley. And they'll get the clearing kick. We usually see in this second half as McNeil gets a handball out. It's taken there by Pickett. Quick kick. It's interesting to see if they keep kicking goals towards that northern end. All but one of the goals in the game so far has been kicked to that northern end. Well, it won't happen to start with. As Pack with the free. They go towards half forward. Here comes Dudley reading it. Horsfall got there first. Great tackle by Dudley. Opens the door for the high kick from Larson. And Larson's rounded it right on the chest there of Cowham, who did kick a goal from straight in front in that second term. So within 40 seconds of this quarter getting underway, Pack are going to have a shot on goal through Cowham. Could be the perfect start to the second half, as Lewis Cowham tight on the boundary. Begins his run in outside 50. Goes at it diligently with the right boot, but it's away to the right, behind the result. First score of this third quarter, behind to Pack. They go to 3-2-20. Henley 2-4-16.
You can expect this game will continue to move and bob and weave, because these two sides, just from the way that we're seeing it, appear to be fairly evenly matched, as Luke Edwards gets the ball in the back pocket, bangs it around towards the half-back flank. Yeah, that's a reasonable grab over there. His teammate on the half-back flank takes it and then kicks appallingly. For as good as the kick came in his direction, his kick was poor. There's the hand pass, which was good for Schreiber. Back it goes to, now it's Hagen. Hagen's back towards the half-back line. That was a series of mistakes. Sloppy work. They wouldn't be happy, but at least they've got the ball out of the danger zone, albeit briefly, and there will be a throw in now. In this quarter, we've gone 2 minutes. Score has changed by a behind. Packer 3-2-20. Henley High 2-4-16.
Hortle got a finger on it. Williams appeared to be held without it. Unfortunate, because Dudley was away and running. But it's going to come back here to Williams for Henley at half-back. He'll kick towards the outer wing. Looking for, but not finding his teammate. Good diving effort, but the ball bouncing off the chest and going out of play for a throw-in on that outer wing. Fair bit of footy in the northern end, a fair bit of footy on that outer wing. I can tell you in the first half, as wrestling in the ruck. Hortle from behind, won it down against Hannigan. Ball close to the line. Little handball came out. Quick kick for Henley, but it's going to be Packed to rebound off half-back. A long kick towards the middle through the hands of McCann. Working hard there, Saunders couldn't pick it up. Henley will come away though. Williams kick, bouncing football towards half forward. Meeting it strongly there was Morris. Hooks the kick back to 50. Bernardi comes in, big body on Edwards.
Good
Little
boy.
give came out from Dinning. Now the long range kick from Chamberlain, and a great mark in that right forward pocket there for the Henley side from Young. No, pardon me, Hannigan, number 92. Who else would it be? The biggest number on the ground, playing in the ruck, but on this occasion, pulling down a great mark in the forward pocket, Hannigan, and he can go and line up for a crucial goal for Henley early in this third term. Pack missing at one end from a difficult shot. That was Cowham. At the other, in the opposite pocket, northern end of the ground, where most of the goals have been scored tonight, it's going to be Hannigan. And Guernsey 92 for his first. He's dobbed it, and did he enjoy it? Look at him go, Noah Hannigan, running to the crowd, high-fiving all round with the lads and ladies in the crowd now, celebrating with his teammates. Big goal for Henley. They take back the lead, 3-4-22 to 3-2-20. And, well, Hannigan, the man of the moment.
Yeah, it all come when Princess tried to switch, and McCain got out here and got his hand in front of his wingman in the air and spoilt that ball, which was really good. Then it got down into the half forward line, and Charlie Dinning committed his body and shot that handball out, which created that goal. It was really good work.
If James Hurd's watching our coverage, he might well remember that he did that once when he jumped into the crowd and was assaulted in a rather friendly way. I don't think I've seen anyone do that at such a young age, and maybe he knew someone in the crowd, but his elevation off the ground and that was quite ecstatic. As we see now, Williams into attack, good kick. Marcus Payne has to be. Lukey Young too far out. He's watching. He's gone the short pass. Young's kick cut off well. That's courage. Pick it in there. When you know that the elephants are coming and you're still going to prepare to put your body underneath it, that's good. Kick back towards centre wing. Loose ball bounces. Should come into the mitt of McCann. He's taken to ground. And the umpire is watching. There's a bit of noise from the crowd all of a sudden, as that was Ben Larson who got himself involved. 14 and a half gone, or to go in this term. Good game. Good game, all right. Getting through the pack, you can't. If you have it now, you can.
Oh,
Here's a chance for Dudley.
Yeah,
Dudley, here's a bounce. No one in the goals. Dudley kicks long. He's taken to ground after he's kicked the ball. It skids over the back of the pack. It runs. Kick off the ground. Off the ground, if you don't mind, Lewis Cowham. That's a soccer goal. The IPL has started. He might know how they do that. Well, that was brilliant. A soccer skill. And the goal from the boot of Louis, the boy. And that means he's got a couple. And Pack, with that goal, moved to 4-2-26. Yeah, Henley beat you 3-4-22. And there's the bloke who got it for them.
Yeah, mark it all down to Dudley. That was fantastic work. He was really good down here, deep in defence 30 seconds before that, but just broke through the middle of the ground with blistering leg speed. It was just another player that people will be really getting their biro out about.
Not a bad goal off the ground, was it? Lewis Cowham. Okay, Johnny, have a go. This is tight and this is getting really exciting.
Pack back in front by 4 points. They go inside 50. Bouncing ball evades everyone. Sherlock down there. Schreiber now with the kick back towards defensive 50. Saunders, the stumbling block, couldn't quite grab it. Ball comes out now and dribbles over the line. Bodies from both sides flying in. Great celebrations from the boys. They're so pumped up out there. We saw Hannigan with that goal earlier at the northern end, high-fiving the crowd. We saw Cowham charging away, punching the air with that goal. As here's Edwards, well tackled by Murphy. Tackling for mine, Bernie, has been a bit of a highlight tonight. It's been very good.
I've never seen a two-man smother before in my life. Two boys smother the same player. It was really good work.
As here's a chance for Pack. They go in with a nice little short pass from Harry Tunkin. And Tunkin has found a teammate, again tucked around in that right forward pocket. It is Cowham, similar to the shot that he had earlier in this quarter. And he's tucked around, going to be kicking from probably just outside or just inside 50, depending on how long his run-up is.
Well, he's just inside the building site at this stage.
What's he learnt from his first shot? That's the big question. as he comes in.
He looks tired.
He does. He'll kick from just inside 50. 45 out on the boundary. This is a better looking kick. Much better looking kick. Much better looking kick from Callum as he has got 3. 1 in the second, 2 in the third. PAC all of a sudden out to a 10-point lead. 5-2-32, plays 3-4-22. And we have gone 8.5 minutes in this third quarter, but this is goal for goal, Bernie.
Yeah, no, it's a really good game of footy, this. I mean, it's the overlap that Dudley's performing off the half-back line. That's where they're getting their run. I mean, the Henley boys are getting it in there, but the Prince Alfred boys, when they get it on overlap, they get it through the middle of the ground so quickly.
Good kick too. Off the right-hand side, and he has threaded it through magnificently. And the pack, it's official, have a big sniff. They have a big sniff.
That's better.
But not for long, maybe. Kick down the ground for Henley into their forward pocket. Runs close to the boundary line. It runs very close to the boundary line. Umpire says it's over. There's a bit of noise from over there from where we are, but the boundary umpire will bring it back into play.
And again, we see the Prince Alfred boys there 5 or 6 metres in front of the Henley forwards. There's no trailing from them at all. Sometimes young backmen just trail the forward line out. They're playing really interactive football.
Hannigan tries to take the ball out of the ruck, can't do so. It's blasted in towards the forward pocket and runs over, but it is close to a score. Henley in attack. The ball with the last touch rule will be taken by Pack. And we have 10 minutes of play remaining in this third quarter. Kick towards halfback. No one can take the grab. Good strong tackle out there by Chamberlain. Crowd want to call for a free kick. Umpires are there. And it'll be, give it to me, fellas, and let's settle down a moment. We've got 10 minutes of play remaining in this third quarter. This is the Open School Cup Grand Final. And we have a leader, and they look good. Pack 5-2-32. Henley High 3-4-22.
Ball out of play. Again, tighten the clinches. Good hard body work from both teams. Speaking about earlier with Bernie Marnie, our expert, no question asked tonight in terms of the hardness. They have hit hard from the get-go, both of these sides. As we see, winning it down in the ruck there. Porter for Pack as it's worked inside 50 now. But Pack through Daugherty, close on the line, trying to get the handball out. Might have been a high there for Henley, high tackle for Henley. Players come charging in, picked it up, wanting to get on with it immediately.
Free
It's going to be a free kick, and meterage might be a 25. We'll wait and see. Certainly the Henley fans are enjoying it. It's only going to be a 25, so within kicking distance, but whether it will be kicked, I don't know. It's a tough kick out there in that pocket underneath the light tower, but what a big moment it is. 10 points the margin. We've gone just over 11 minutes in this third term. As head down over the footy.
It's number 3-something, John. That's all I can do to help.
It might be Becken. His kick is away to the right, though, from Becken through for a behind. So, kick just the one behind for Henley. 9 points, 8.5 to go in this third term. Plenty of footy left to play.
All the players in one half of the Norwood ground, and that is the half that Pack is defending. They are all there watching closely, trying to grab marks, and there is a mark taken. Charging down in defence, Carl Finlay, the centre half-back, kicks strongly and boldly around towards half-forward. Guess who's chasing? Lewis Cowman. He's got it at right half-forward. He's kicked magnificent. What a short pass. He was sprinting down the ground. He stopped for just a fraction and saw the lead there that was made by Austin Kajitsky. And he takes the grab about 30 to 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Oh, super play. What about a quarter from Lewis? Hasn't he been good? This kick, so important. This kick is curling away and it's offline. Just one behind only. That shot from Austin Kajitsky, one of the vice-captains in this unit. It's 3-5-23 Henley. Pack 5-3-33. We've got 7 to go in this third term.
Could have been a crucial goal that for Kitsky. Big moment, but unfortunately just curled away. as it's Young who's got the ball for Henley at half-back.
The big thing that Cowan's doing, he's on the move all the time. He's the moving target in the forward line.
As Daugherty up for Pack, takes a good mark, 7 to go, third quarter. He's tied by a game-high lead of 10, equal game-high lead of 10. And Daugherty, one of the few boys we mentioned in the first half, in the long sleeve, drives it back to 50. Sherlock was up, thumping it down. Henley had the crummers. Beckham got it out. They work it round with handball and the kick out towards the outer wing. Able to take it. McNeil went off the ground and out of play. And that might prove a bit costly in the end, as Pack will get the free on
Chandler.
That outer wing through Chandler. As he loads up and bangs them back towards 50. Through the fingertips again. Quick kick from Schreiber. Henley away. Down the outer wing. 6 minutes to go. Third term. Again, the Pack defenders looking good there, but spilling it at the last minute, opening the door for Henley.
Good work, Dudley.
Well done, Dudley. Gee, that was good. Just that little
give.
As
well.
He got poleaxed. That's going to hurt, but he had to put his body on the line. He did, and it saved the day after, unfortunately, Perks there fumbling the grab. But they're not dead yet, Henley, as Mead can put them inside 50, and what a finish from Mead. And the mark has been taken again by that man, Hannigan, in number 92. Kicked the goal earlier in this third term. Now with 5.5 to go, he'll line up to put Henley back within 4.
Yeah, Mead hadn't had a lot of it. He's been heavily tagged. They've had to move him forward, but that was a beautiful disposal.
So big kick for Hannigan for his second. Bring the margin to 4 points. Runs through centre half forward, through the 50 from about 48 out. That's a long, strong kick, but it's well wide, out of play, does not score. And with 15 gone in this third quarter, it is Henley trailing Pack by 10 points.
That was Benny Brown.
Yeah, he
tried the run up.
Trying to kick it too hard, though, I think, Pete.
He got excited. I think everyone did, because the mark was strong. And that kick into play is going to result in it coming straight back where you want it to be. That's the call from Henley Beach in towards forward pocket. Who's going to grab it out there? Loose ball. It slides. Pickett's in there looking for it. Will it come in his direction? It's just a bit of a wrestle going on out there. And there will be a bounce. Hope you're enjoying our coverage as much as we are enjoying presenting it. School football. Doesn't matter what the sports are that you play, the skills that you are demonstrating, it's all good for the future of your sporting life. Out of the middle, Pack go forward, run if you can. Charging down the ground there is Saunders. Lost control of it, holding the ball call. Umpire's blowing the whistle, and he's going to bring it back. And gee, I'll tell you what, Saunders could run then too. He was very busy, and it's Larson who, in the finish, has the ball. Larson kicks it to the man on the mark. He wouldn't be happy with that. Well, he's going to probably get it again, because good work from his teammate there in Dudley, laying the tackle which forces it close to the boundary line. And eventually, I thought it was over, but umpire was a lot closer than I am. Picked up and blasted forward. That's Murphy. Murphy across the back of the Pack. Pickett waits for it to bounce. Good strong tackle laid there on Garrels. Off the boot towards full forward. It's just offline. And through for a behind. Pickett is busy, and so too the goal umpires. Another behind to Pack, who are 5-4-34. Henley 3-5-23. And we have 3 minutes to go before three-quarter time.
Just the poise that Pickett showed then when that ball hit the ground. He just sat and waited.
That's good mark to Young. Gave off to Chamberlain. Drives it towards the outer wing. Perks there for Pack, though. Picked it up. His handball not great. Landed at the foot of his teammate, but Henley are going to take some advantage here through Dinning, and his kick hits the post. So with about just under 3 minutes to go, point there to Henley, sees the margin back to 10 points. Just under 3 minutes to go in this third term.
Oh, he was looking for goal then. He what? Didn't quite have the accuracy. Ball kicked into play. Oh, Pickett, no! Has he got it?
Tired umpire. He's the only one that touched it.
He climbed high and landed on his back, and the ball just might have landed inches away from where he landed. And there was no mark paid, but there was excitement there for the elevation. And also excitement there because Pag get away with Saunders. who's lost control of it. Here's the chance for the kick forward. It comes forward by Chamberlain in towards the forward pocket. A snap out of the pack. It's through for a behind or not. Yes, they're all excited down there, but then they have to realise, and unfortunately I say, the perpetrator who managed to kick that behind has kicked quite a few in this particular game. The score, 1:40 to go before three-quarter time, and it's a tight one, 3-7-25 to 5-4-34. Pack leading, but not by a lot.
So Pack off, half-back flank towards the outer wing. They've got time, 90 seconds to go in this third quarter. What can they get going as the long kick towards half forward from a couple deep. Very nice mark is taken by Kitski. He wants to get on with things. He's got one top of the goal square, but getting in the way is Schreiber. And he marks the Kitski kick and saves the day for Henley. So Schreiber will go back out towards that outer wing. And Henley again have it out there. Quick kick, not a good one. Pickett gets in the way, knocks it down. Again, the numbers with Henley. Wilson got it over the top. McCann's kick down towards 50. Bouncing football. Well, Hannigan was there. He had two to beat. And the kick, though, on that occasion, another turnover from PAC from Finlay. And Henley go back inside 50. Last roll of the dice, perhaps 39 seconds remaining. It's come out. Here's a kick coming at the goals from Morris. And the goal is there finally. No. It's touched. Touched. It went through, but off hands. So it's touched. It isn't a goal. It's another behind to Henley with 20 seconds till three-quarter time. Again.
Well, it looked like a goal, but it wasn't. The goal umpire in perfect position to adjudicate. It was touched, and now the ball thrown to ground. There'll be 12 seconds of play remaining. And there's a free kick. 5 seconds left. It won't be enough time for Henley. 5-4-34. That's Pack. Henley, 3-8-26. Kick to half forward. There's a high leap and a frustration there because a mark was taken. But after the siren, and it doesn't matter whether there's frustration or not, we know we are now ready to sit back and enjoy this last quarter of excitement, of exhilarating football. This, the final of the Open Schools Cup. It's the GF, the grand final, and it's the Pack. 5-4-34, leading Henley High School, 3-8-26. In that quarter, 1-4 to 2-3. The margin is 8 points. Lewis Cowens kicked 3. Pickett 1 and Pedler 1 for Pack, and for Henley, Watson, Edwards and Hannigan. We wanted a spirited game. We wanted a grand final that we were going to remember. Well, we've got it. I'm just not sure as to what we're going to remember most of all. Three-quarter time, 8 points the difference. Bernie Marnie, how about that for 20 minutes of action?
Oh, that was fantastic football. I mean, Princes have really got the belief in their heads now. I think they're going to be really hard to pull back from here. They're winning the ball all over the ground. The biggest things they have got, and you can't help but continue to talk about two players if they're in the game all the time.
I'm just seeing the highlights here at the moment from the second half, and Henley, they had their opportunities, there's no doubt about this, and this is probably their starring moment of the quarter, the great grab by Hannigan, and he went back and kicked the goal. And, both sides creating opportunities, but still a chance for both teams. Did we see Hannigan? And watch this reaction after he bangs through the goal. As Walsh said during the call, James Herdstar running and congratulating the fans. And is he pumped up as he surrounded by his teammates there, the big man from Henley. As we see the players in their respective huddles, just a quarter to go. It's an 8-point lead from Pack over the Henley side at the moment. As here we go, some magic from the middle from Dudley, away and running. He was cleaned up big time after he got rid of it. Didn't matter though, because Cowham, it was very busy goal-wise in this second half so far. Kicked 2 of his 3. That was the first off the ground, and did he like that? And that was in response to the Hannigan goal. Big celebration there. And really, at that moment when it was goal for goal at either end of the ground, when you could just feel both sides lift, the fans were lifting. There was a lot of noise out there from both teams' supporters, a lot of noise from the players on the ground, and the game really started to, as I say, pick up a notch. As we see here again, it was the Pack boys moving it forward. Quick kick from Tonkin. The diving Cowham. And this was a tough shot. He had one early in the second half and missed. But on this second occasion, no mistake, a wonderfully straight, accurate kick, threading the eye of the needle, fair to say. His third for the evening.
Well, I've got to say that it doesn't matter what the noise from spectators makes when they're out there listening to the coach of the team that they support. There's massive excitement from the schools, massive excitement from those that have gathered who support their particular school. And I just get this feeling, as we see one of our favourites, Peter Argent, just off another football ground. He does that so regularly, and he's a happy snapper of substance. I just have these feelings that Pack, anything that's been thrown at them, I know that the disadvantage for Henley, poor kicking in that quarter, but I reckon Pack's got the run. Pack's got the runs on the board, Bernie.
Well, I mean, what they have got, they've got a really classy moving forward in Cohen. They've got Dudley just pouring out of the back line, winning possession after possession, and they've got Pickett in the middle of the ground. So you've probably got the three most important players or most influential players on the ground all in the one side.
Guys, we talk about that youth too of Pack, you know, the Marty McKinnon saying before the game, a lot of 16-year-olds. That can be, sometimes it can be a hindrance, sometimes it can be a positive. They're out there going as hard as they can. They're young, they're fit, they're strong, they're giving it everything. They're exuberant. Maybe they could do it. Who knows? 8 points to margin, a quarter to go.
I reckon Dinnan's my man. He was the one that I didn't want to be critical of him, but he just hadn't been able to put it away a few opportunities he's had. He's my man for the last quarter. The last quarter of action in these two schools' football year. It means a fair bit, and there's just a bit of a lull now as everybody gets into their seats and gets ready to go. Bernie, you've changed your mind. No, you haven't. You've gone with Pack, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I'm going to stay with them. I just think they've got a little bit more endeavour.
Three-quarter time margin, 8 points. We'll know in 20 minutes. We'll know lots of things. We'll know who's the best side on this Tuesday night, the 20th of August. I don't know. Still, first goal, I'll state the obvious, absolutely crucial. First goal, absolutely crucial. Meldrum was in there, another scramble, and let's do a head count. Let's get up and throw the players in different directions because they're all over the place. And the runner is already out and doing some finger pointing and getting a Prince Alfred College player back into that half-forward line. Hasn't gone too far in the opening seconds of this final quarter. It won't go any further. Another scramble. John, let's see if you can get things progressing. 8 points the difference. The last quarter, as is the first three, goes 90 minutes. It goes 20 minutes and that's it.
Hortle won it down. No one can take clean possession. Hortle, the big ruckman, done most of the work in the ruck for Pack as they work it towards half forward to Henley. Chamberlain, little kick, bouncing ball taken nicely by Byrne. Handballed into open space and Pickett there. High ball, going to lob down. And in the end, play continues. And it will be Hortle banging it away for Pack towards the middle of the ground where Larson takes it. Larson's high kick inside 50. Borlase gets rid of Sherlock. Borlase with the snap-on goal just to the right. He'd put that through. The Pack fans at the southern end would have gone through the roof, but they haven't. 90 seconds gone. They get the first score, Pack. They lead by 9 points.
Yeah, just Larson. Just absolute balance again.
Sorry, Bernie. The kicking was a horrible shocker. It was. You don't want to do that at any time.
I was just making a note. I looked up and thought,
well,
how did he end up with that?
Borlase has got it directly in front. You see that so often, you think, yeah, that's the way to go, but that wasn't delivered well, and Borlase got across and said, I'm real happy at the moment. This to be the biggest lead of the ball game. He's 30 out, he's directly in front. He's on his way, and he kicks a goal. That's a biggie. That is a biggie. Pack 6-5-41. Henley 3-8-26. 17 and a half minutes of play remaining. 2.5 have ticked by in this last quarter.
Yeah, probably. I mean, because Schreiber, he's been really good for him tonight. I mean, he's taken the wrong risk at the wrong time.
That was the risk, Bernie.
Yeah. It's short, dead in front of goal. When you're leaving the goal face open, that's right if you're 15 in front, but not in this sort of situation.
Good kick too, wasn't it?
It was a beautiful kick. He finished that excellently.
Ball ace reward with a goal. He's worked hard tonight. He got it on that occasion. Henley now at the job ahead. They trail by 15 points. Just charging out, trapping it nicely with a quick kick was Tate Schofield, or Taj Schofield, should I say. Now it's with Byrne. Half forward. He drives it inside 50 and getting up, taking almost an unimpeded mark there. Sort of the pack player stayed down and waiting, just left the door open, and Mead said thank you very much and has grabbed the footy. And now Henley a chance to get that one back.
Yeah, Mead hasn't been dominant at all tonight. I mean, he's been really good on what he's done, but just hadn't done enough of it. But he's been heavily worked over, but that was beautiful. He read that ball beautifully.
So, for Henley, number 30, Jackson Mead. Oh, he's dragged it to the right. That's a bad miss in the circumstances.
Doing yourself any favours there. You've got to be able to finish.
Brings the margin back to 14 points. 4 gone, final term.
We talked about this in the first quarter when we saw so many poor shots at goal from Henley, and you thought, well, look, they might pick it up in the second or the third or what, but let's come back to bite them big time.
Well, that's right. And from a recruiting point of view, I mean, you need finishers. It's a final, and it doesn't do you any good doing that. I mean, had it been another kid, maybe different. When you're in the stateside and you're looking to get drafted, you've got to kick those.
Zane Williams was in at the contest fairly quickly. Is there an over the shoulder I'm waiting for, Mr. Umpire? No. And how often, fellas, do we see when we're hearing the calls or we're even doing our own coverage, shots for goal within range missing so often and just causing so much consternation to the team that can't kick straight?
It's like the short putt and the long putt, isn't it? You get the long ones and miss the short ones.
Yep. Now, that whilst we're talking, the scramble consists of players from probably 3 or 4 of either side down there and doing some heavy work. There will be, I would suggest, a toss in the air. So that early goal in the last quarter is so valuable to Pack, who've got the answers. Away we go. If it's not Pickett, it's Dudley. Take your pick. Back towards the centre of the ground. Bounces loose. If there's a handball on, you can run it forward. Not quite Bernardi, who goes back in for it. He's got some support from his teammate Larson. They're both from Packs, and there will be a bounce in the air. We have ticked to the 5.5 minute mark of the last quarter, and Pack 6-5-41 lead Henley High 3-9-27.
McNeil's kicked inside 50, and it comes off on this occasion for Henley with a good mark at 50. And McNeil with the footy for Henley.
They're a very stagnant forward line. They need more people leading up. They need more opportunity.
So now McNeil from 50, long, strong kick right to the line, but unfortunately it's the behind line. 3-10-28 Henley. PAC 6-5-41-11, scoring shots to 13. PAC lead by 13 points.
Bernie, tell our viewers that the half of the ground totally is just full of people.
Yes, it's a big push up now. They're trying to push up to hold the ball in there so they get another opportunity. But what they've got to do is they've got to lift their eyes and get their forward line moving on a 45-degree angle so they've got more targets to go to. They're just all standing waiting to kick 50-metre goals. They're trying to rush the scoreboard to catch up. That's not the way to do it.
Well, the way to do it is to get it to Cowham. And Cowham's kicked towards the half-forward line, searching for the tall timber James Ball-Ace, who couldn't take it. But he's got crummers. He's got runners. The ball kicked in towards the forward pocket. It's going to be a dangerous kick off the ground. Should be snavelled there by Saunders. He's taken. Umpire is whistling and saying, my ball. And there will be a toss in the air, and that was oh so dangerous.
Yeah, that was pretty poor by McCann. You just can't do that.
Ball's tossed in the air. A shoulder, free kick. You were grabbed high. There's a free kick. It'll go to Joshua Garrels. And this.
Yeah, they're busting them mentally now.
Oh, this could be it now.
They're making mistakes. They're going into their forward line too high and too far out. They're under the pump, Henley, big time.
Joshua Garrels spins around, takes a look. One of the interchange players.
Could be party time.
He's on his way in now. Joshua kicks at goal, and the Jake Herbers kick poorly. So the disease of inaccuracy from both teams. But we've gone 7.5, nearly 8 minutes in this final term. Henley High trail Pack at 6-6-42. Henley High 3-10-28.
Yeah, for a young lad, he just leant back on that. He had to have his head over the ball.
As Larson does very nicely back to the top of the goal square. Knocked away from Kitschke, but a good second effort by the big forward there on Schreiber. Tackles him to ground. Umpire will ball this one up. Up in the ruck there, ball ace. Quick kick, Pickett. Knocked towards the line, through for a rush behind. They all help PAC. They're 6-6-42. Henley 3-10-28. 8 gone, final quarter.
I tell you who Larson's like. He's very much like the kid that went to Melbourne from PAC last year.
Not the Sparrow.
Yeah, Sparrow, but Larson's quicker than him.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you who's quick now with the ball, and that's Jackson Mead, who kicks down the ground. Will it skid far enough and quick enough? No, it won't. Rushing back in defence there is Daugherty, who does well. Daugherty on the left boot, and the tins are banged over there by the supporters. Did they make a noise? Of course they did. It's driven back towards full forward off hands. It skids towards going through for, guess what? Another rush behind. So in this quarter, Henley 3 behinds, Pack 1 goal 3. We now have gone some 9 minutes, and the score is 5-7-37 to 3-11-29.
Yeah, and you're not going to get anything else out from that. I mean, it was good work by Mead to win the ball, but he just blasted it into the goal face. They're showing real immaturity at the moment. You just can't blast. You've got to grind the goals out, get your forwards moving. I don't think the runners out there often enough now to open up that forward line and get some separation from the backs.
Meldrum won it down. The umpire's whistle's gone. McNeil's away. He's taking every advantage with a long, strong, straight kick from 50. They're still in it. Don't write off the boys from Henley Beach just yet. They're still in it. 4-11-35. PAC 6-7-43. 10.5 to go in this fourth quarter. And McNeil, who's been so good tonight for Henley, such a clean finisher, Bernie, makes it count when it matters.
Yeah, that's right. He's put the belief back into them that that's what they should do, but he did get it. So, no, well done.
That was the kick. Sorry, John, you were scratching out the score, and I'll tell you what. You just look and you think, oh, well, there's plenty of time, really.
There is, that's the thing. There is now half a quarter to go.
Ball tossed in the air. High leap by Riley Meldrum. He didn't get it, but his mate did, and his mate was Byrne. Byrne thumps the ball down the ground. He wanted it to be strong.
Left foot screwy.
He's doing well, that Daugherty, in defence. He takes a good grab and kicks into the back pocket. Guarding the back pocket down there is Chamberlain. He's on the mark, but it's the Pack kick. Around towards centre wing. Oh, there's a push in the back, surely. Umpire didn't go with that one. A no call is a good call, apparently. Hand pass by Williams. Williams got it forward. The kick is long in towards the centre half forward position. Clears the pack. Or no, it doesn't. The mark is taken there by Hugo Kelly. Our little beauty in defence at the 11-minute mark of this term. 6-7-43 to 4-11-35. The margin is teasing us. It's 8 points.
Mead starting to get a bit more of the ball now.
Kelly was very good in the first term in defence, standing up along with Daugherty in this final time. Whenever Daugherty gets the ball, I think of Val Perovic or Ange Christie from Carlton. Exactly. While she woof as he launches. As there's Mead with a little handball. He'll get it back in the 1-2 off the ground. No one can take the mark. Where are the Crummers? They're there, but they're in maroon and white Guernseys rather than the red and white, and the ball up will result inside 50 for Henley. Another goal would make things extremely interesting with 8.5 minutes to play, and this knockout grand final across the high schools. It's been a busy tournament. These are the best two sides. They put on a cracker tonight here at the parade as Edwards up in the ruck coming through Didden, but he's led to it by Pickett, who got a handball out. Can they grab it? They can through Saunders. He's away and running. Wants to go across the face. Got the handball. They do now go across the face. They just clear the zone. They are. Couple of handballs ends with Pickett, who comes out towards half back. Bouncing football. They try their best to keep it in, but in the end, happy to see it over for Henley.
I reckon Dudley being the back pocket player, if he's not in high 30s, he hasn't had a kick at all.
Yeah, it's been busy. Who's going to stand up now? Who's going to be the player? Or you know what, the one player? Who's going to be the team? Look around and you see there are matchups everywhere. Everybody's got an opponent. From the boundary throw in, it falls loose. It's hacked off the ground, and that was good solid stuff there by number 25 in Saunders. Around towards centre wing. Nice hand pass down the ground. Short pass. It's on!
Beautiful kick.
Magnificent mark taken. The short pass of beauty. Ball ace came out. And Patrick Singleton, the emergency.
Yes.
He got the kick forward, and the mark is taken by Ball Ace, who will now remove the mouth guard and take a good look at where his next destination is, and that's straight over the goal umpire's head for a goal.
Yeah, that was beautiful work by Singleton, and he did good work on Mead as a tagger early in the game. But that was a very good lead up to by Borlace.
Borlace comes in, 35 out, slight angle. Borlace kicks a goal. Borlace is accurate. He's kicked his second in the term. And Prince Alfred get that little bit of a buffer. That goal moves into 7-7-49. Henley a 4-11-35 in the final term. We've gone 14 minutes. And here's the little number 5. You're watching. He'll take the hand pass on the run. He sees Borlace. Borlace says, kick it to me.
Chandler.
Kick it to me, number 5. And he does. Into the forward pocket, and there's a good grab.
Yeah, there was a much more constructed goal, the way that Prince Alfred get their goals. They're not getting them by hope.
No, good call there, Walshy and Bernie. But Singleton, the emergency, probably woke up thinking he wouldn't get a game today. Now he may have been involved in what could perhaps be the winning play. It's funny how it works. Henley, though, they're not going to lie down. The kick towards half-back. Chamberlain got in the way there for PAC. Pardon me, that was Luke. And now the kick up towards half-forward. We're working hard, as he has throughout the night. Dudley at the bottom of that pack. And the ball up will result inside 50. It's getting tense now. Pack by 14 points. Henley need a goal with 5.5 to go. They need a couple, to be honest. They're not going to get them at the moment, or they might. As Schreiber breaks away with a sweeping handball. Henley back inside 50. Oh, great defensive mark, Hugo Kelly. As we said earlier, he has taken a couple of good ones in this final quarter along with Daugherty, and on that occasion he did it nicely. As the kick out towards half-back, Borlace flew at the back. McCann banging it back from whence it came inside 50. Daugherty came out strongly meeting it. He was tackled, ball spilled free. Saunders wants to run. Can he get a handball out? He can. Finlay it was with a little chip kick.
They'll get out of here, Prince Alfred. They hold back.
They will. They get out through Chandler towards half-back, and Pack will clear, but only momentarily, as Beckett it is chipping in and taking the mark for Henley.
Score check, 7-7-49 Pack. Henley High, 4-11-35. Ball in the forward pocket. Scramble takes place. And an opportune time to mention, just before the game started, we had the boss, Martin McKinnon, saying there is a change. Staples out. We're really sorry for the kid, but he misses. And Singleton's in. The vagaries of football, what can happen. And Singleton gets a chance by putting a pass onto the chest of one of his key forwards in Borlace.
So they can afford to all be down there now.
They are too.
Block this up, but they've left 2 or 3 back just in case they want to get another one.
Kelly's kick from defence didn't travel as far as he would have wanted, but there is a scramble. And remember, there's no time on. We've got 4 minutes of play remaining in this grand final. 4 minutes left. Pack, who got beaten last year, 7-7-49. Henley, 4-11-35. They won't lose this one. They are in front, heading for home. Johnny Nankerville.
Beckett had it. Got a little handball out. Schreiber, who's been very good for Henley. Mead linking in nicely. Some good work there from Schofield inside 50. But again, Hugo Kelly, the Rock of Gibraltar, saving the day yet again for Pack. Runs the hand through the hair, and he has his own go with a big long kick. Oh, big mark. Pay it, Borlace says. But there's something coming back off the ball here. Inside 50. Beckins grabs it for Henley.
He's taking
There's a free kick in the square.
And there's a free kick in the square. Borlace was a great grab, but it's come back. And this is crucial. Free kick in the goal square to Henley.
What was that about?
And it's going... Now Pickett's running away with the ball.
Now the ball, I don't know if it's been reversed the decision, but look at it this way. The ball now is with Pack at half-back.
It is indeed. So, well, I think you're right, Walsh. I think it must have been a reversal for something. And it's going to come back here to half-back with Dudley at defensive 50, who goes short. And, well, Pack dodging a bit of a bullet on that occasion with 2:40 to go.
Yeah, they're all going to get over that side of the ground now. Just go down the line. You can't mark it, put it out of bounds and restart it.
Saunders kicked down that outer wing. Again, the big fly. That one was Pickett. Off hands, out of bounds.
Exactly what they wanted.
And that's exactly what you call burning, exactly what they wanted. 2.5 to go. Packed by 14 over Henley.
As long as they've got some at the back now, they don't need Henley to get it out the back into the middle of the ground.
Pack, the disappointment of last year, the frustrations of being beaten comprehensively. They're only a couple of minutes away now from taking the spoils away from the ground here at Norwood. And they have the ball in the middle, and there's a free kick for a push.
Oh.
Free kick for a push, and coming out of the middle, the kick will be taken by Zane Williams for Henley towards the half-forward line. They all leap, and the umpire saying play on, so it's taken by Dudley, and Dudley's kick close to the boundary line, and it's gone over. So there won't be a mark to be taken down there by Garrels. It will be a free kick, but I'd say the time has passed, my friend. That is Ethan Neal, who knows that there's not a lot of time, but he's got to kick it a lot quicker than he just did. Bangs it in towards full forward. Off the back of the pack. Picked up and snapped. Excellent goal there by Cooper Horsnell, number 18. He's kicked a goal. Henley get their fifth. They're 5 goals, 11-41 to Prince Alfred College, who are 7-7-49. 8 points the difference, and we have a minute 12 to go with no time
bounces.
on.
Really important bounces.
Well, that's the key word, isn't it?
You have to have all your big guns in there now.
No time on, as we see the kick there from Neil right to the square. Great crumbing Horsnell, state squad player, plays his juniors at Glenelg. And back in the middle with 50 seconds, and it's Henley who are going to break. There's still half a chance as they go towards 50. Daugherty couldn't take it. He'll get the handball back. Met solidly by Chamberlain. Lurking in there, Garrels. Whistle's gone. And I think it's a free to pack. It is. And it's going to be Daugherty who'll get it. And I think that might just about do us with 30 seconds to go in the contest.
Be careful what he does with it, though.
Let's take a kick on the left boot, if you don't mind. That's Daugherty. He kicks it long and strong to the centre wing. They all leap. No one can take the ball off the pack. The ball cleared away by Schreiber there for Henley in towards the half-forward line. No go.
No, down here, son.
That's not going to take you where you want to go. Now there's a mark and some meterage for being hung on to. And the siren's going to sound, and Pack are going to win. Pack have won the Open Schools Cup Grand Final here at the Norwood Oval. A victory to Prince Alfred College, 7-7-49. Defeating Henley High School, 5-11-41 by 8 points. And there is a bit of noise happening in the middle of the Norwood Oval as the ecstasy of victory is being displayed, and spare a thought for Henley, who had exactly these emotions last year, but not now. The spoils go to PAC, and the coach, Marty McKinnon, going over and shaking hands with the umpires. I'm sure that will be done almost exactly by Ben Kane, and we'll have the announcement of the best on ground, and that will happen very shortly. But some comments, and I'll get you, John, if you don't mind, to go through the goal scorers, and then I'll get some thoughts from you, Bernie Marnie, because then we'll be in a position to hear from Colin Steinhardt, who will present the medal for the best player on the ground. But some thoughts from you, Bernie, with that final score. Prince Alfred College, who were down at quarter time, but hit back to lead 7-7-49 to Henley High School, 5-11-41. Some goal scorers from John Nankivell, and then some thoughts from Bernie Marnie.
Well, Calm led the way for Pack with 3. 2 then, both in the final term to Ball Ace. And then we had singles to Pickett and also Pedler in that second term. While for Henley High School, Watson kicked there first. Then we had goals to Edwards, Horsnell, McNeil and Hannigan. So they were the goal scorers, all singles there. Watson the first for Henley, all singles though down that list.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game of football. It was just really important for the young Prince Alfred side to come here and play Henley with so many decorated SA players in there. But they brought their game, and they stayed calm. And the difference between the two schools today was that Prince Alfred, they stayed calm. When the game went to another level, they went to another level with it. But they grinded out their goals. They had a game plan that they could lean back on. Where I think with Henley, I think they got away from their game plan. They tried to rush to try and catch up on the scoreboard. That fell into the into the hands of the Henley backmen in Kelly and Pedler and co. And that was about it. Do you want to do the?
Well,
we'll
thank you,
find out
Bernie.
who's going to win the best player award.
It's happening in all sorts of directions, and once again, look, I just congratulate the two teams for the spirit in which the game was played, and for the spirit in which the game now is so evident after the game has been played, by handshakes plentiful going across, and these kids would know each other. They played football against each other, and all right, they're playing school football against each other, and just the handshakes. And I see Isaiah Dudley, he's just been picked up by a few. Henley, and I think he said to me, "Put me down, I don't even play for your school." But that's just fantastic when you're seeing that happening. And I'm just padding for a minute because we're waiting for the official presentation of who will be the best player on the ground. And this award is called the Colin Steinhardt Medal. Colin, of course, associated in football for many, many years. Who's going to win this, Bernie? Because we're going to find out in a moment.
Look, I think it'll be able to, out of Pickett, Dudley or Kelly, all off the one side.
Yeah, well, I got no idea. That doesn't help, does it? But a lot of the footballers are still in the middle, and I can see, too, the Henley players being spoken to. I'm presuming Ben Kane is in the middle of that bunch. And, you know, when you think about it, and you can dissect this game no matter how many ways you want, in that first quarter when they just couldn't kick goals, but they had so many dominating passages but could not convert, I, for one, I think I might have been one of a few, have thought, well, they played poorly in terms of converting, but then right at the start of that second quarter when Pickett kicked that first goal, they're only a few behind, and that was just about it.
That's right. Yeah, they come out in the second quarter, like I said. If they could get back into the game straight away, because they withheld Henley for 18 minutes, you know, under absolute siege in the first quarter, and I think that's probably what set the win up for them. They just showed that they can do it. They had the belief that they could control Henley for 18 minutes in their forward line. So that's where the belief come from the young Prince Alfred boys, and they've done a fantastic job to pull it off.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. I've never played sport at any high level, and team sport, it just means so much, because you might not happen to have one of those really days of substance, but if you're in the team environment and you're able to be with the teammates that feel pretty good, that's what's being experienced now by the lads from Prince Alfred College.
People that want to be part of the presentations to come over to the western wing and just stand on the grandstand side of the table here. We'll get the presentations underway.
Presentations will take place, as you can hear from our ground announcer, very shortly, and of course we'll hold with these presentations. I think it's important, irrespective of the team that you were supporting. I think you'd like to hear who has won the medal and some thoughts from the respective players. I think we might get a player or two. And there's a lot of very, very happy students too. A lot that aren't good enough to play at that level. There's not that ability to them. And now all of the players are being told by some teachers there to sit down and behave. Do that. Sit and behave yourself, please.
You wouldn't have to hurry up to sit down. Plenty of them are gone on the fuel line.
Yeah, well, that's what's happening now. We'll get the announcement of the Colin Steinhardt medal, and then we might even get coach. We might have a word. Not too sure as to what their commitments are, but Martin McKinnon might, in actual fact, have something to say, and that might be the case with Ben Kane. But we're pretty much ready to go down to our ground announcer, as we've got most of the supporters of PAC already. They've moved into a position of authority, and the Henley one's a little bit draggled at the back.
I'd like to officially welcome everyone to the School Sport SA Open Schools Cup for Knockout Australian Rules Football. I'm Wayne Hall from School Sport SA. Thanks very much for coming out tonight, supporting the competition and the event, and staying for presentations as well. It was a great atmosphere. It was a little bit quieter than last year to start with, but once things got a bit tense at the end there. The atmosphere was fantastic, so well done to everyone for adding to that. Congratulations to both teams on reaching the final. Obviously, it's a really high level of football by the time you get to this stage of the competition, and both teams need to be commended on getting this far. In general, it's a really fast-paced game with some excellent skills on display. Henley probably controlled the game early on, especially in that first quarter, but struggled to capitalise and get the score on the board. And then PAC got a roll on in that third quarter and put some significant score on the board. No doubt through this match and both teams' respective seasons, all the players have developed and refined your specialised movement skills and concepts and strategies, and developed your football-specific skills. A few thank yous. Massive thank you to Norwood Football Club, Daugherty, Wade, Rick and James, along with all the ground staff. Obviously it's a tricky time with the redevelopment happening, but they've been really accommodating and had the ground come up a real treat for tonight. So put our hands together for Norwood Football Club, please. Also, the umpires and officials, not only those that umpired tonight, but throughout the competition. It's cliche, but we couldn't play the game without you, and really do appreciate everyone that umpired throughout the competition. So we'll put our hands together for them as well, please. And being a school football competition, obviously the teachers, coaches, sports coordinators, and all the other officials that are involved and give so much of their own time and energy to allow these teams to play and compete. We really do appreciate everything that they give to allow this to happen. So we'll put our hands together for them as well, please. Last one, the SANFL have been a continual sponsor and supporter of our school football competitions, and we really do appreciate all the support they give us. You'll notice we've resurrected the trophy for the 50th year of the competition this year, and it went through several different names throughout time, but one thing that stayed constant is the SANFL support for the event, so we'll put our hands together for them as well, please. So as I said, the competition's been running since 1969 under various names. 2019 is the 50th year of this competition. A bit of recent history, Sacred Heart have probably been the most dominant team in recent times, winning 12 of the past 18 titles. Henley have won 6 titles in history, including the very first year in 1969, and now PAC have also won 6 titles. Interesting stat. I'll move on to presentations now. I'll ask Colin Steinert to come out and help with presentations. So Colin has had an enormous involvement with school football for decades, former school sport officer and secondary school sport life member, former chairperson of School Football SA and umpires convener for the knockout finals for many years. So put your hands together for Colin as he makes his way here, please. First of all, we will ask the captains of the runner-up team, Henley High School, so that's Lachlan McNeil and Jackson Mead, to come forward and receive their certificates and say a few words on behalf of their team.
First of all, to PAC, you boys and your Collins High School, credit to you. You've been here the past 3 years in a row versus us, and we certainly love it. Well done on today. Just to us, bad luck, obviously for us as well as last time playing. A bit disappointing, but also thank you to the whole school for coming out, both of them. Great atmosphere, so thank you.
Well said, thank you. Now I ask the winning captain, Carl Finlay, to come forward and receive the plaque and certificates on behalf of his team.
First of all, to Henley, bad luck boys. He's played well tonight. It's always hard to beat. Always love playing against you boys. It's always a tough contest, and bad luck tonight. To our boys, well done. We've had a great year. Don't stop now. We've got Saturday to go as well, so we look forward to that. To all the crowd, supporters, everyone that come out tonight, thanks to you. Thanks to the atmosphere you guys provide. It's always great to play in front of big crowds. To all the Norwood Football Club for letting us play here, the umpires, everyone, and coaches, Marty, Jacko, you boys, been great all year, Taz, Nobes, everything you guys do, and yeah, cheers.
And I'll just ask Carl to stay out the front and he'll call his team out to receive their medals.
Number 1, Cozzy Pickett. Isaiah Dudley. Jack Saunders. Cooper Lou. Josh Garrels. Luke Hedler. Patrick Singleton. James Borlace. Louis Callum. Jamison Murphy. Mitch Larson. Dan Larson. Harry Duncan. Ross Porter. Josh Perks. Declan Mortal. Hugo Kelly. Jackson Daugherty. Callis Freer. Harley Chandler. Our vice captains, Harvey Bernardi and Austin Kitschke. Coaches.
And the captain, Carl Finlay. Boys, you can head back to your spot now, thank you. Alright, one more presentation to make. So the best on-ground medal tonight is called the Colin Steinert medal, named after Colin himself, standing next to me today. And the winner of the Colin Steinert medal for 2019 is Isaiah Dudley.
Isaiah Dudley, well, no surprise you would think, an outstanding performance by the diminutive and highly effective young man wearing Guernsey number 2 and one of the proud recipients from the Prince Alfred College team who have won this game tonight. They have won the Open Schools Cup Grand Final in slashing fashion. They defeated Henley High School 7-7-49 to Henley High School 5-11-41. A special thanks to Bernie Marnie and John Nankivell, who joined me in the commentary box, to Paul Chadwick in the back of the box, and to the Fisher brothers, Heath and Scott, for their professional assistance in bringing together this coverage. From the Norwood football ground, where the heroes are Prince Alfred College, Peter Walsh signing off and saying good night.
Well done, boys.